Have you ever seen a nervous breakdown?
Not like a.
Have you ever seen a nervous breakdown?
Not like a super extended one. No.
Only good people would be able to have a great one.
Yeah. Have you seen Chris? Can you look up Boogie 2988 breakdown? He lied about having cancer to get money from his fans, I guess.
Oh no.
I'll just play mine all day, and my dad is dead, and my mom is dead. I'll talk about those pieces of shit till they fucking rot.
Yeah, but Chad and Desi aren't dead.
You ever meet anybody who makes a big deal about their mom or dad being dead?
Yeah.
Doesn't that strike you as a little bit much?
Woe is me shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to call the dead dad. The best one I've ever seen is Jess's friend calls it the Dead Dad Club.
Mm-hmm.
She said it like kind of comically, and she looked like she was well adjusted about having a kind of a sad thing where her dad died young.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that it's sad, but she did this thing called the Dead Dad Club, and it was like when I first met Jess, I was like, well, that's really like funny and kind of like good sense of humor about tragedy. And never brought it up, didn't ever like live in it or anything. A tattoo, a memoriam, you're good. But people who live in it,
well, it's when like our age,
yeah,
when our parents die, I'm not going to come in and you're going to ask, you'll ask me what's wrong, and I go,
you say me right?
My dad's dead.
Oh,
right. I'm not gonna do anything like that. No, man.
Yeah,
people who like I don't know. There's just something. I've just met people who milked it like 3 times.
Yeah,
not all in the week that it happened.
Oh, you mean 3 times?
Like you'll talk
Forever?
to them. Yeah. And I know, listen, it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. Okay.
Yeah.
But when you meet people who like milk it,
yes,
2 years after,
10.
Come on.
Well, dude, after my dad died, I didn't even know what the hell I believed in.
Come on, man.
The worst one would be stand-up comedians putting it into their act.
Oof.
Yeah, I've probably heard that before.
Grief dumping.
Yeah, my dad. Oh yeah. I told my parents that. Oh wait, they're dead. You know, you ever see the TikToks where they're like, "Let me show you my mom."
I know. I know it's a terrible thing. If it happens in your 20s and you like feel like you have no guidance, that's terrible. That's a terrible thing.
I know what you're saying.
When we meet fucking 30-year-olds, who they bring it up.
Yeah.
This is the 3rd year that I've known you as a person. I just heard you just dropped that fact again.
Yeah. It's like a part of their identity.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm a woodworker. I have a dead dad. I like jogging. Yeah.
Here, get in here.
Yeah.
Streamline.
Oh, I can't wait. Watch your head.
Yeah,
Do not hurt yourself on that. Yeah, go ahead and watch the boogie. We can keep this intro.
Don't you just tell the audience?
I don't want to destroy a human life. Because I don't want to destroy someone's fucking life. Because I don't want to destroy somebody's life. Because I don't want to destroy somebody's life. Because I don't want to destroy somebody's life.
Okay.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
No, I don't. I'll
you just said here.
I'll destroy mine all day. I'll destroy mine all day, and my dad is dead, and my mom is dead. I'll talk about those pieces of shit till they fucking rot.
Yeah, but
I will
Chad
not
and
talk
Desi
about
aren't dead.
Still fucking alive. I will not. We've talked about it. We made an agreement, and I'm not going to do that for internet clout. I'm not going to do that so the Keemstar can jerk off to it. No,
Keemstar's beard.
We're not here.
What the fuck, man? Can we fast forward, Chris? Where's the part where he's like,
I want to die. I want to die.
Yeah.
Bro, talk about your sister. You said you would talk about your dad and mother all day. So will you address those issues? Because
yes, my mother twisted my fucking tipples as part of the abuse, and she twisted my balls and my dick, and she told me that sex was disgusting and awful.
Wow, no, keep going.
And she told me that only disgusting, awful people had it.
Big surprise.
But then, okay, well, let's not talk about any of it.
No, my dad fucking masturbated in front of me and showed me pornography and asked me if I wanted to join in and encouraged me to touch him, and I fucking did.
Big surprise. He was molested. Big surprise.
I fucking did. I fucking did.
No.
There, we be done. Can we be?
Keemstar's so good.
Wow. I feel bad for that guy.
That's horrendous. If he's telling the truth, that's the worst thing.
Of course,
ever.
it's horrendous. It's true.
That's like Bates, like the Bates Motel, the psycho guy.
Well, it might not be true. This guy, I think he's a liar.
Lost.
He seems like he eats.
Pounds.
I fucking
He just went skiing.
What's going on over there? You did fine. I think you broke your computer.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he was lying. Wow.
So is that new media?
That's the current state of media right now.
Wow, that's pretty good.
I think the first suggestion is don't feel sorry for him. That's too bad.
Wow.
That's bad advice.
Anyways, Undertaker.
What a nightmare. Close that tab, Chris. I don't even have that even as an option.
Thanks for doing 911.
I want that option closed off.
Wow. Yeah. But
have you been falling into any lore that's not that's out of your realm, that something that you haven't really like peeked into by way of like
I've just been going extremely. I've been watching Bitcoin videos.
Really?
And just
going full Bitcoin,
just watching them just as entertainment.
Have you seen black jokers with clown makeup on?
Like P. Diddy?
Sort of. People who like
let's Google it. Let's
think
look it
they're
up.
vigilantes.
Oh, I'm selling the Porsche, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Which one is that?
Bring a trailer, that white one.
this is not.
Oh, okay.
Are you talking about the black the Joker shit?
Yeah.
Are these guys in the Boule Society?
They're definitely in the boule.
They're low level though. They're at the very beginning of the Boule Society.
Low level
They're
bulls.
interning at the boule.
I'm a Boule intern.
You know what's funny? Remember I was telling you I was smoking a blunt with that black couple outside in North Carolina? They were talking about the conspiracy stuff in a way that I hadn't heard about. They were talking about how adults, ready for this one? Adults are staying in black fraternities for their entire adult life until they're 45.
I did know that black guys go
What does that mean?
heavy on that fraternity shit.
Like regular, imagine frat guys, but black, right? In the South for like they're still doing frat shit when they're like 35, being like, listen to me, young blood, bring me a coffee. You don't understand what it's like to serve an elder.
Can you look up black
I was like,
fraternity
what?
life on YouTube?
They were like, see, I don't fuck with that shit. That's what they tell me. I was like, she's like, what do you think about that? I was like, I didn't even know that's even real. I was like, I know frat guys that are like white dudes, like kind of like live in the college years forever, and they like go back and party at a couple of football games, and that was always mad whack because they would be there like trying to fuck the chicks. I remember that in college, being at football fraternity parties, and like guys that were like 24, and me like instantly like clocking them like, yeah, dude, get the fuck out of here. We're like 18. Like just coming with like being a dad, but like getting cocked and like kind of like hitting on chicks and shit. But they were telling me like this stuff right here, like.
What the?
Like they ride them until like.
What the fuck are they doing?
Frat life. Didn't you want to go to college and join a frat?
I wanted to wear a red suit with a white turtleneck.
This is what I wanted to do.
See, like that
In
guy
high
right there is
school.
my age.
The guy's dancing for guys.
Yeah. That's the point, Charles.
Oh,
It's cool.
It looks good, and this is like a according to this well-adjusted couple, they were like, this is kind of like a whack thing that black dudes do.
is that what you call dapper black?
Let's look up more of that. I want to see more of this.
But I guess it takes up a big
Stroll.
part of collegiate life. That's what they were saying.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Like all college grads that are into this shit are like, when you're an adult, you sort of subscribe to like, oh, we're going to the gym to watch the new Phi Kappa Alpha Alpha,
Yeah.
whatever,
Whoa.
ceremony and
Stroll.
shit.
Interesting.
And I was like, wow, that's kind of
Shaking their booties
Yeah.
for guys?
Yeah, Charles. Come on.
Why?
Because they're cool.
They learn to dance.
It's like a bunch of Tupacs.
Bow tie.
Benson.
A bunch of Bensons.
That's sort of humiliating, if you ask me.
That's rough. That's like, it's like Tupac in the tub with fucking no shirt on.
Oh,
and shit.
yeah.
Like his
Man.
photos.
Look at that guy. In the plaid. Hold on. Here comes. Yeah, that guy right there. Look at him.
Oh, he was doing this. He was like doing like a.
Yeah, he went like this.
He was checking. He was doing the all Cool J blade face.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're clacking their heels together.
Oh, humanity.
Can I got to find the white version of this. I have to
the
know.
white version.
I mean,
Yeah,
you've seen the white girls doing the dances and shit like that.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
White fraternity,
People are interesting.
white frat dances, or ceremony or something.
Boys to
White
men.
boy frat dance.
Mm.
Let's hit it.
It's gonna be different.
Oh no. The ship.
These are white members of black fraternities.
Oh, this is
White Kappa Alpha Phi Psi member does his shimmy to Fetty Wap Trap Queen.
This is some.
This is not
Queen of
not
Spades
Hyperborean white culture, Chris.
Yeah.
Stuff.
It's still black.
I think it's because we got in the algo.
No, it's
black souls.
Right there,
Nah,
right there.
it's
No.
just that this is a black
I mean,
thing.
all white, all white for. Or
We should start an all-white fraternity.
We'll call it Kappa Delta and Alpha
this is
Phi.
called
Kappa, Kappa.
These are Hispanics.
Whoa.
I don't think there are. I don't know if there are. I think they're gone. I think they got rid of them.
So all of the black dudes who watch this show, I mean, all of them.
Yeah.
Let's watch these. Please.
Join.
Talk about how honestly, I want to hear some cringy stories about this stuff. Like, because the frat guy story of cringy shit of like guys like sticking hockey sticks up their ass and eating Oreos full of piss and stuff. Like, we all know those stories. They've been out there for years. I want to hear like the dudes like,
what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Delta Lambda chapter of Pi Kappa.
The last one to finish off eats everyone's load in a loaf of bread.
We got Trip and Mike.
yeah, this kid looked boring.
Welcome to the largest fraternity house in the nation.
What's up? I'm Load Eater. This is Cum Guzzler.
This is the real McCoy.
this is cum wait. We fucked the hottest pussy and we sucked the
Drink
hottest.
the most cum.
I give AIDS to stupid bitches.
With 253 active brothers, we're one of the largest fraternities in the country. As we look over here, we see 13 straight Smythe trophies, awarded to only the top Pike chapters in the country. Not only was 2013 a big year for Pike because we won House of the Year, it was also a big year for Florida State football as we beat the Auburn Tigers in the national championship, in which we had 7 starters on the team.
As our blacks beat the...
Hey, Trip, why is the team all...
That's a nice frame right there.
They call themselves the Pikes.
They got
7 starters on the team.
good audio too.
This is our chapter room. This is where we conduct.
I like his walk.
We should do titles like this.
Yeah.
Like the guy talking is obscured always.
I'm just gonna be doing this behind you guys. Yo, that's hard.
Chapter, formal rush, executive meetings, and most importantly, social gatherings.
What's Trip doing other than looking stupid?
This is our Legends room. The sole purpose of this room is to pay our respects to our wonderful Delta Lambda alumni that have not only done great things for this unit.
Game face, the real McCoy.
Yeah.
He's mewing.
Wow. This guy blew me. One time the 65-year-old man jerked me off at a football game.
Sandusky used to be here before he went to Penn.
This is where we used to hang.
These guys are probably good guys.
They do seem pretty
They're
good.
probably solid.
The whole nation.
That's a solid guy.
What's that about?
Is that an Indian guy?
That's
Fuck
David
is
Jr.
that?
I worship heaven.
I worship it.
Uh-oh.
That for 2 consecutive years.
Speaking of Florida State football history,
Speaking of,
here we have Bobby Bowden, the most winningest coach in college football history, and the recent national championship head coach, Jimbo Fisher. Both are
Jimbo Fisher.
Jimbo.
These are good guys.
Jimbo's
You guys join any clubs soon?
yeah, but I feel like the blacks have to share in the misery of fraternal embarrassment.
They don't get called out. Listen, I know we do a lot of calling out, but they don't get called out enough.
Right.
And they should just start calling themselves out. I think it would just make it lighter and more funny and just better.
I
in
had
general.
no
so,
idea
too.
blacks did fraternity stuff. And it's not. I'm not trying to be funny.
They-
I
no, no.
didn't know.
Me neither. When we were smoking, like the way the conversation was going, like, are you about that Illuminati? I was like, yeah, we're talking about the Illuminati. I was like, yeah, you believe in that? And I was like, because I have a friend who's petrified of it, and it was like more than it seemed like a literal difference in black and white guy. And they were like, no, but the fraternal. Oh, they jumped right into this, and then the girl, they were both they were not 40. They were both college grads, both sorority and fraternity, and they were both like, this is corny shit that people do, and I'm like, I'm over it. But like, there's people going back and like having dudes show up to your house with coffee and shit, like hazing at 35 and 40.
Yeah.
And they never leave it.
Yeah.
And I
Why
was like-
would you leave it? It's so awesome, though.
It's yeah.
You're an elder.
Forced
We
labor.
could be elders.
Damn.
Forced labor.
It's like that. What's that song? I Love College by fucking that white rapper.
Tom Waits. Everlast, the guy from Everlast.
Tom Waits, the ugliest guy in the world.
The ugliest
Brazilian.
ever lived.
That's
Let's
good.
end on a high point. What do we got that's fun to watch here, Chris?
Oh yeah.
Yep. Oh, this looks cool.
They got the Jabberwockies out here. Vorpal.
So like, That guy's 45.
This scares me.
This is wild, bro.
What the fuck, Alice in Wonderland shit? He's wearing Bozo the Clown shoes.
Where'd they even get those boots?
Custom jobs?
They made them.
Oh yeah.
They got them from Bozo's warehouse.
Well, I know what I'm going to be following this year.
Dude, this shit's scary.
Yeah. Hey, Daddy fixing them up.
He's calling him boy.
Daddy fixing them all up.
What up, 4? What up, 3?
What up, 2?
Wait, hold on, I have to see that sweatshirt.
Oh my god.
Dude.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Property of
Tatted
and appareled. Got to bring Joelle Santana back.
Catalyst
Yo.
with the one.
She with the
wipes.
noops.
The soups. The
Noops.
They're giving him shit to drink?
It's just Ciroc. Attention.
Yo, these are like a military formation.
Yeah, that's why you're protected for the rest of your life.
Oh, there's the old. Yeah, there's the
It's old heads.
Yeah.
You got to get yours, son.
right here. Right
Yeah.
Done pretty good for me. I wonder what this. Wow.
What's up with the candy canes?
Red and white, like a candy cane.
He's fucking fixing him.
Why is he touching them so much?
This is very sus.
Okay. We got to end on a high note. This was not
Holy
a high
highest note.
shit.
note. That is not a high
We
note.
found our new style icons.
We found out the way that we're
Look, I
going
kind of have the colors on right now. I got this in the rally.
We found out how we're going to dress and act for the rest of our
For the
lives.
rest of my life, you guys have to constantly be adjusting my hood layers. I'm going to be adjusting your shiesty.
Yeah, like my gentle fingers on your face. Unbelievable.
I'm
Sips
ironing
of
on your
Gatorade.
club's
Fucking
patch.
New York System onions coming out of my fingers.
There's stink lines. Yeah.
Oh, oh!
That shit's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just playing.
They're having fun.
They just playing.
Should we play Tales of Quiz?
What's that?
I don't think we should spoil it. I don't think we should spoil it.
Something that's too good.
It's probably too
Wait a minute,
dark.
What's this right here? Hold on. Close Call, the movie. Mu Iota Fall, Neophyte. It's a movie. It's an hour and 15 minutes long.
Second from the bottom.
Second from the bottom. Close Call, all K.
Yes, sir. It's about the time. Yes, sir.
You want to go to the...
What's gonna be raining in here?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
The gang.
I'm really thankful, honest to God, for putting me onto this couple. This is funny. This is like...
It's that time, boys.
666, bro.
He's in the Illuminati.
Wow, it
Fucking
is.
bully. You call me a bully.
What's in a half an hour?
They're getting ready for a party or something.
Oh, they're getting ready to play fucking Team Fortress 2 or something.
No, it's the same
What?
exact thing.
God
It's a
damn.
sign from Die Hard 3.
That's how I'm gonna bring you guys anything always now from now on. I'm gonna walk in like this. Ha, 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 ha.
We gotta figure out the origin of this specific
Bro.
sign holding
Dude.
face mask. I don't know what
Dude,
it
look
is.
at that.
This is crazy.
The origin is just that it's badass.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't. I've
get it
never
down.
seen anything like that.
There's something I want to say, but it's gonna be after.
Say it.
I got to go join a frat.
Yep.
Be after.
I know what to do this afternoon. Hi, guys. I'm Nick. This is Sam and Charles. We want to join the fraternity, the Kappa fraternity. Check this out. Hi, Alpha Kappa. We're all good at it right away.
Yo, 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 yo.
I'm adjusting. As soon as I walk in, I start adjusting his hoodie. I pull it down. I make sure the strings are nice and
Making sure
straight.
his lips aren't obstructed.
I'm running my fingers underneath the shiesty to make sure the lip is showing.
What do you think they were drinking? They were feeding the drink.
Gatorade.
Yeah, right.
Blue Gatorade.
Watered.
What
load.
else would it be?
Yeah, electrolyte packs.
Hennessy, blue Gatorade. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Please come see us doing live tour. It is good. Is it good?
Yep.
It's good.
People, I don't want to listen. I've never ever felt confident saying my stuff is good. You'll never hear me say
They're
it.
having a good time.
I think people think it's good.
People show up.
And Kyle, who's a comedy connoisseur, said it was the best show he's ever seen. Is that true? I feel like we might be good. Not to say that we're really good, but I think
we're not. We can't say that. We shouldn't say that.
I think it's worth seeing.
It's worth seeing for sure. But
yeah,
I don't want to rest on it. I don't want to kick back and rest.
No.
Never. Master never acknowledges.
But this low bar that people are expecting that are being delivered upon at comedy shows, we don't do that.
Yeah, we're not asking people what they do for work.
It ain't that, baby.
Yeah,
it's a little bit higher.
I'm trying to show you that I can fit an entire microphone stand underneath my fingernails.
It's a show.
It's a show. So come see that. That's at samhydelive.com. Follow us on Instagram. You get updates on dates. What are we doing? We just did Norfolk, Greensboro, DC, Atlantic City, which was boom.
And we're going to do some...
the crowds are great. We love you guys. There's usually one or two people in the crowd yelling Ghost of Kiev who have to be kicked out. Everybody else is really good people.
Yeah, the best.
I like meeting. We do a lineup afterwards where we do meet and greet. We shake hands. We take pictures. That doesn't cost extra, unlike every other comedian that charges for VIP. This is the most bullshit thing ever. We'll never do that. We'll never charge for VIP. We're either going to do the lineup or we won't, depending on how many people there are, how much time there is. But these shows for the next year we'll be able to do. We did one with a line of 600 people. So unless we're selling out theaters or something, we're always going to try to do the. We're always going to try to do the.
Unless it's impossible.
Meet and greet, unless it's not possible. Sometimes the venue will be like, "You got to go, get fuck away from our parking lot. You can't even be here. We'll go find some dimly lit back alley dumpster to do meet and greet at."
Yeah, we'll be in the dumpster. We'll fill the dumpster with boiling hot water, and it'll be a hot tub you can jump in.
Yeah, we'll be playing with each other.
I'll be throwing rats at you guys.
It's been a great experience. We love meeting you guys in person. So come out. What are we doing next? We're doing Ohio. We got Northeast.
Yeah, Northeast. And then
little shows in Northeast.
And then Ohio area. Pretty much every spot we haven't hit yet.
So the Northeast, we're coming to Maine.
Tentatively it's Maine and Mass and Connecticut.
Maine, Mass, Connecticut.
Ohio.
Those are coming up quick. Those might be sold out by the time this podcast gets posted. But then we will be back, though. We're going to hit everything more than once. We're going all around. This is our new thing here, okay?
Yep. We are going to be playing more Imagine Dragons, though.
We're opening for Alex Schultz doing Imagine Dragons.
Actually, fuck Schultz. You just do that. Fuck. All right.
That could be his next character.
Yes. God damn it.
And Schultz is hella funny.
Dude.
Be Nice to Me Productions.
Schultz is super funny. Be Nice to Me Productions. And yeah, we're coming to Ohio.
Ohio, like the Ohio down into like the Kentucky kind of area.
Oh, fuck yeah. Can't wait.
And for that, we're going to do, I think we're going to film it, and that's going to be what we post online.
Yes, somewhere in that area.
Do you want to post your stuff yet or not?
Sure.
Okay. So we're gonna film. We're gonna film everybody, whoever wants to post their stuff or not. The thing is, if you post it though, you have to have a new set of 20 minutes to go after because people don't want to see it once they've seen it online. You know?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to post it then.
So I'm definitely gonna release mine. I don't know how much. I think Schultz might release his because he's got a new character he wants to do. Those shows, Ohio, that's where it's going down. It's gonna be popping, and yeah, man, it's gonna kick ass.
Little Indian guy
technique I can do to lower my body temperature.
I put ice packs underneath my left arm.
Really?
That's what I do.
Does it work?
It's like near your heart.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it works. It's like something stupid that I've been doing though. Like I take an ice pack and I put it right there and I clip it. Isn't it like, don't you get a heart attack down your left arm?
I get heart attacks down my left arm, yeah.
Yeah. Only in your left arm.
I've only been getting them in my left arm, which lets me know I'm okay.
You make like a heart symbol, like a fucking Swiftie. You're like, oh, attack.
Now I've been doing these Zins. No good?
No, of course not.
Why?
You hear like Eric Hayden?
What?
His doctor was like, yo, stop.
Really?
Stop doing Zins.
Why?
I think they're like the nicotine makes your fucking heart go through the roof.
Makes my heart go pitter patter.
You're in love with them.
Yeah.
You're French kissing a Zin tin. You're writing it poetry.
It makes my heart go gooby gooby goo.
Oh, how are you doing today, baby? I'm in your mouth.
Yeah.
You like the Zins?
I mean, I'm doing them. I don't know if I like them. I'm doing them.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like them. I didn't say I like them. I said I'm doing them. Take that for what it's worth.
The size of them. The size of Zin makes me feel bad about them.
Let me Google it. Is Zin bad for you? Nope.
Yeah. It says right here.
How bad are nicotine pouches for you? Gastrointestinal symptoms? Negatively impact your learning, attention span, and proneness to addiction. I feel the opposite.
Yeah, you have been like reciting the alphabet backwards.
Are Zin pouches bad for you? I literally think Zin is the most dangerous nicotine product ever. What the fuck? What are you, a baby?
The Scarecrow wanted a brain in Wizard of Oz?
The amount of health issue, this guy can't even type. The amount health issues this crap causes is criminal. He forgets the word of, so his brain's not firing on all cylinders. The amount health issues this crap causes is criminal. That doesn't even make sense.
Maybe he was on a Zin when he was writing it.
No, he wasn't. He's the opposite. He's quitting. It's on r/quitting Zin. Why would the amount of health issues be criminal? It's the amplitude of health issues that cause them being criminal. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. We all got into it knowing it wasn't good for us. Nope, I didn't. But I didn't think it would have. I didn't think it would have be this bad.
Wow,
this guy's a retard.
He's damaged from all the Zin.
He's damaged from being a fucking moron. Why is it so addicting? First of all, it's not. I could quit right now immediately if I wanted to, which I don't.
But if you wanted to. Do you swallow it?
You swallow the packet.
Do you
spit, you mean? No, you just spit it out.
Oh.
I chewed Grizzly for years, and it wasn't this hard to quit. I also didn't feel as many health effects. The question is why? With cigarettes or vaping, blah, blah, blah.
Grizzly's of the dips, Grizzly is fucking gross.
Wintergreen.
What is Grizzly?
Grizzly is like, I remember dips. I wouldn't even take one. It's like, it was ass.
Here we go. Here's my boy right here. Y'all a bunch of pussies. Infamous Hedgehog 45. Y'all a bunch of pussies.
That's the guy's name.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then D Swenson 123 says LOL smiley face.
Yeah, Grizzly's disgusting. It was Skull or Cope, if anything, Copenhagen. But
How many of these Zin pouches should you be using a day? A lot, probably.
40 probably. How many come in a package? 20?
A day's worth.
It's no number. It just says day.
Per day. Now, do people? How do they feel? What do people? What do people think about gay marriage, Chris? It's healthy. I don't know if this goes against this subreddit's rules, but as a former smoker, my lungs are so thankful I made the switch. Of course they are. Zyn is good.
Cardiovascular doctors, like they say that smoking is bad for your heart, but I don't know if nicotine itself is. Didn't Huberman say nicotine was like a neuro whatever? Like
My
good?
son finally figured out he is spending $900 a month on the crap.
How much are they a pack?
Like $6.
That's...
$9.
What is nicotine and where is it derived from?
It is a chemical that is found in nature, and it can also be synthesized. Let's go ahead and
Wikipedia might be.
Wikipedia knows their stuff here. Oh, we got to pay for them. So it's in plants, but like most chemicals, you can synthesize it in a laboratory, or derive it from some other process like evaporating plants or something. I don't know how they make it, but it's just a chemical. It's like any other.
It's like when you look
It's not a scary chemical. It's a good chemical. It's good for you. And it's like, I think it's actually good for you.
Nicotine.
I think my hunch is that it's good for you. It is most certainly a nootropic. Can you look up how do you pronounce nootropic on YouTube? Just type in nootropic pronunciation and then find some Indian guy to help us out here. Kayak Grape Long Cut Review by Joey Leds Dippin 94. That guy loves dipping.
Wow.
Fucking what the fuck is this?
It's the Walmart prescription commercial for the children, for the little child black basketball player to take his prescription of Anadrol. They give him at Walmart. They're giving him Primobalin.
Is this bitch gonna be able to even say it?
Nootropic.
What?
Nootropic.
Did you say no-o?
I buy that. Look, can we look? Is there a other video where we can see a scientist saying it? Look up Thomas Delaire right there. He's got 200,000 views. He's believable. Nope, down there, cheap nootropics.
Orange stripe.
Nootropics.
Imagine walking into a Walgreens or
and getting
a
your
CVS
pants pulled down.
and being able to get your hands on like a limitless pill. Okay, like a powerful nootropic
It's
that's
called
gonna
Zyn.
increase your memory and make you feel just almost invincible and just give you just that feeling of mental acuteness that you need. Well, that's the purpose of this video.
Acuteness.
I'm going to give you 5 nootropics that you can just go and find at your local grocery store or your local pharmacy. Okay, nothing crazy. Don't need to go to Amazon.
He just said it. Can we roll back? I just want to hear him say it.
I'm going to give you 5 nootropics that you can
Nootropics. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Take that one.
Guy's got pretty good biceps.
Yeah, I trust him. Look at his body.
Right.
Yeah, I wish I had a body
That
like
looks
that.
like a fucking Bachelor contestant.
I wish I could just look at a body like that.
Wish he was just here in front of me.
I wish he was just
Dance for me. What's his name? Tommy, dance for me. Wow, look at the body on you, huh? Man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think Zyn is probably goodish for you.
Yep.
The cigars, I don't get as much nicotine from them. First of all, this feels like I'm smoking 10 at once. It's got to be good for me. You know what I got to do is I got to go to is that health tourism thing where you go to the hospital and they like fucking suck your dick and bring you flowers and stuff, and it's like the fancy hotel. Is that fake?
Turkey.
Is that fake or is that real?
No, that's real.
Are you talking about in America or
No.
In Turkey?
Definitely not in America. Can we look up Turkish health tourism on YouTube and just see what people are doing?
I saw a video of a girl who went there and got like cancer screened and like her skin. I think she went there for like cosmetic things.
Yeah.
She got like hair.
She got her hair pulled out?
She got her hair pulled while she was giving head.
When you walk around Istanbul's famous Taksim Square, seeing Middle Eastern men who have just gotten hair transplants is not an uncommon sight.
If I want to make the same surgery in my country, it's gonna cost me $5,000.
I feel like this is just.
How much is he gonna say it is? Wait, I want to see his price that he got.
I spend $1,100 here.
Despite recent terrorist attacks, medical
$1,100?
tourism is thriving in Turkey. According to Turkey's health ministry, more than 152,000 people went to Turkey for medical tourism in 2016.
It was very
This is a
cheap.
You can pause it, Chris. This is a deep research project. We got to look into this and see if it's legit or not. There's also something that's like iatrogenic is the word, which is you can Google that. iatrogenic, which means health problems that are caused by healthcare. I think it's when the illness is caused by the cure. Yeah, relating to illness caused by medical examination or treatment. Can you look up iatrogenic etymology?
That's like the GlaxoSmithKline guy. It was GlaxoSmithKline, not Bayer.
Iatros, which means physician, and genesis, which means origin. So yeah, health problems that come from going to the hospital, for example.
Oh.
And I think there's something where I think medical screenings aren't necessarily always a good thing. Is that a thing? Can you look up medical health problems caused by medical screenings?
Oof.
I might be wrong about that. I don't know, but
like radiation?
Yeah, I was gonna say radiation or like
health problems caused by medical screenings.
Medical screenings, yeah. You don't want to be fucking around with this stuff. And I was watching. Yeah, it might be more complicated than this, or I might be imagining it. I'm not sure, but I think it's worth saying. You know, we've always been looking for the magic pill. Like we're into supplements. Like you, me, Chuck. We're like supplement big.
Yeah, I was probably
guys.
last to the game, but yes, now
But
I am.
you bought in.
Yep.
We all went in hard.
Now I'm in hard.
I think just like going to bed early and not doing things that you know are gonna destroy your body is probably
drinking.
more important than taking a bunch of pills.
Yeah.
I think sleep is like 10 times more important
Sleep's
than we
crazy
think
important.
it is.
Sleep's retarded important. We gotta, man. Everybody's gotta get good sleep.
I like the way your body feels when you're when you get like meat sweats from reconstituting muscle from fat. That's fun.
Meat sweats?
Like I'm lifting a lot?
When you turn yourself into salami, basically?
I guess so.
Like
I guess before I was just blubber.
Did we get your phone sealed away? Is it sealed away already?
Over here.
It's making clicking sounds. I'm sorry, big dog. Can we get you an iPhone?
No. You can buy yourself an iPhone. Buy yourself two.
I did.
Yeah, there you go. Get 3.
I will.
You can have 5.
I want every color.
Yeah, you should. That's cool.
That's the way I do it.
One for every day of the week.
When I'm a different girl every day of the week.
Hi, my name's Sam.
Betsy.
My name is Beth. Today I'm Beth.
It's me.
No, wait. No. Today I'm
Elizabeth.
Becky.
Oh.
Becky hates Beth, by the way.
No, I'm Jen. I'm a slut.
I'm Janet. That's when you put your
Jen's the butter yellow one, by the way.
Yeah, and that's when you drive your Pontiac Le Mans and you put wheels on your knees and you only
I slide around. I don't talk.
Yeah. Oh, you go by like the
They're making us wear dresses in the movies, Chris.
You just look at heroin addicts and you're like,
you look over, it's Kevin Hart in a dress.
Yeah. That's Kevin Hart address.
You know what I loved seeing is it is it's probably cliche to say this, but it's just stunning to get traces of what people were doing during COVID. And you see it in a good way when you watch like fights and stuff without the commentary and without the audience, and you hear the impact of the punches. You remember those? You ever see that? Okay. Can you look up
street fights or UFC fights?
Look up boxing without audience during COVID. But this feels like it was 30 years ago, man. This is what punches from heavyweight boxers sound like. There you go.
I've heard that. Oh God. The hardest punch I've ever heard was from a girl. I was at a boxing match, like a low end one, and this fucking broad just rocked this other broad, and I was like right front center, and it was like ha 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 pop, like and fucking the girl just like dropped, and I was like, oh my God,
it's got a scary sound to it.
Never boxing ever.
Can you look up MMA without fans?
Oh, you mean? Oh, yeah.
Like during COVID.
I remember. Okay, now I know what you're
exactly.
talking about. Okay.
Getting little remnants of this type of stuff. Yeah, right there, coldest knockouts. Ugh. Oh.
Did he get him in the ribs and knock him out?
Don't know. What the fuck?
Look at this guy. He looks like a human. Looks like someone bought him.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, look like you would buy a guy.
It's Turkish health tourism. You go get that guy.
How much for him? I want to buy him.
I like that his feet are crossed.
I like that an Asian guy finally won a UFC fight.
The guy's Mongolian or something. Asians can fight.
No, I know, but they don't win too often. Their win rate is low.
Well, they're not in the UFC that often, but they win in Bellator and one sometimes, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I'm truly not trying to like knock it, but like when they come to the UFC, it's not a good bet to bet on the Asian guy.
Yeah, but I think that also might be a like a third world thing. Like people are always like, oh, if you go train in Thailand, those guys are tough motherfuckers, dude.
Yeah.
And then they come in the UFC and they just get their ass whooped.
They get eaten with a fork and knife.
Yeah. I think that's just because Americans are better, just because they're Americans. I don't necessarily think it's a genetic thing, because there are Japanese people who are real strong and there are Chinese people.
You don't think it's bone density?
I mean, there's bone density, but I think it's third world shit. Yeah. I think it's just that for the time being, nobody's as good as Americans.
Yeah.
Because of McDonald's chicken nuggets, which is what Usain Bolt ate when he was in the Chinese Olympics. Did you know that?
Really?
Hundreds of them only. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't know that.
Usain Bolt, when he went to China, because either him or his team didn't trust the food locally.
Yep, I wouldn't.
All he ate was McDonald's chicken nuggets.
Wow.
Hundreds and hundreds of them.
Yeah. Usain Bolt, though, has, from a sprinter and a runner standpoint, has incredible physical, like his shins and his thigh bones are long.
Sure, yeah.
Like he's got like Michael Phelps, when you look at him.
Yeah.
No shit, he's smoking everybody.
Yeah,
like look at him. Like swimmers look like me. Like
I would just say that when it comes to fighting, those styles make fights, which is what people say that means that if you have even if you are like a huge genetically advantaged guy, there are styles that can beat your style.
Yes.
And it comes from a weird, like Mark Hunt. There are guys that look like they shouldn't be necessarily beating up guys that look like action figures. Yeah. And then a lot of there are more than enough examples of guys that look like action figures just fading in fights.
Yeah.
And
Mark Hunt comes from that bloodline, though. Those
fading like they're like it's a child or something. Did you watch that? Who's that guy? Bekele, the new big Nick dude. Look up Bekele boxer. Like just spelled just like that. Just type boxer afterwards. He's just like a big chunky Nigerian dude, and he fights this guy that looks like an action figure, and he makes him look like a teenager,
like Anthony Ruiz.
Yes,
I love Anthony Ruiz. Yeah. He's like, he's smiling. He's like, yes, he fights.
So I don't know what it is, but I do know that just from grappling, doing jujitsu with Asians, there are guys who have like strange strength that you wouldn't necessarily expect. Yeah, and it's got something to do with the geometry of their body. It's not as simple as fast twitch versus slow twitch. No, it's also like most of the levers in the, so when you're jacking up a car and you're like putting a little bit of force, but it's lifting up this heavy car.
Yeah,
that's either a first or a second class lever, which is where the torque that you apply gets multiplied by the fulcrum. The levers in the body are the opposite, because the force point is like right here, the fulcrum is right here, and then the lever arm is out here. So you have to apply a ton of torque, but what it does is it multiplies the speed, which is why it's when they're talking about how when tall guys lift, they lift less weight because they have a higher range of motion. They have to move more. That's not true. It's because they're at a mechanical disadvantage, because the all those levers are third class levers, so they have to apply way more torque in order to express torque.
That means if the machines were centered around 6'3" people, they would look different.
Yeah.
Like angles would be different.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd be operating at like 15 and 17 or something. I don't know what they would.
And there's like there's a sweet spot for everything. Like throwing a baseball, you want to be lanky, have long limbs but not too long. Same thing with boxing. If your arms are too long, then you can get like out wrestled by a guy with more, who's
like a Tyson,
who's stockier. Yeah, right. So anyway,
look, I love the Anthony Ruiz story.
Me too.
He looks like me.
And he's great too.
He's just like got a good attitude about him too. He's got like, I like his like displacement.
Yeah.
No, no, that's not the one. Disposition. There we go.
I love Anthony Ruiz. I think he's awesome.
Cool. Yeah. Is he jacked now? Did he get yanked up?
He's in much better shape. Yeah. Anthony Ruiz now. You could type Anthony Ruiz now. I mean, he hits. There's videos of him recently hitting pads, and he looks.
Look at him.
He just looks extremely dangerous.
Yeah, he looks good. Good for him.
He should go get hair plugs.
He should go to Turkey and get
$1,100. Go to Turkey.
Yeah,
live there.
I mean, it's amazing what 10 million bucks will do to you. But, and I just have more respect for people when they get like jacked up.
But point being, I don't think. I think that fighting, especially MMA, because the thing about MMA is that there's so much more you can do. So not necessarily with boxing. With boxing, you have to use your arms and your hands. What's up, brother?
Cool? Yeah, you should show the camera.
Oh, nice.
Pretty cool.
His beeper.
Pretty cool.
Pager.
Pretty cool vape.
Ah, cool.
Chris.
That's a cool vapor.
Neat.
Vapor pen. Holy shit! Where'd you get that?
The store.
Cool. From Grimes.
See you, Jet.
Have fun.
The with boxing, I think there is something. It's a limited art form. There's less you can do. Like,
yeah.
If you encounter a guy that's a really good boxer and all you can do is box, you're in trouble. But if you can do leg kicks, then you're not so much in trouble. And with MMA, the meta is kind of always changing, which is one reason why it's less of a high art form, is because limitation is what breeds. Limitation is necessary to create great art. This is going to go down a rabbit hole here. Should I just shut up? I need more zen.
Yeah, I think the zen is working double time right now.
I'll rant, and you guys can just fast forward 20 minutes here, okay? So when I was in art school, Nick, do you remember?
Yep.
Chris, did you know that I went to art school?
Yeah, you went to RISD.
Okay, art school, total waste of time, waste of money, horrible place full of f***s, etc. But I learned something, and this is important for anybody to know. When we were the way they used to edit film, they used to do it on a machine where you would you'd actually cut the film and you'd have to tape it together. And the machines we used were called Steenbeck machines. You can look this up. Steenbeck film editing machine, spell it however you want. Named after the famous film producer, Joel Steenbeck.
I wish it was just regular Beck, and it was like, cut the film, man. We do the monkey drop because it dropped the film drop. A do wop stop.
Exactly. I don't know who it's named after, but
Jeff,
to make edits, you would have to actually cut the film, and so it took maybe 2 minutes to make a cut. So if you were going to cut together 10 shots, you'd be sitting there for fucking hours, man. Okay, and the byproduct of this is that when it is more difficult to do something, you think about it way more in a way that you possibly can't force yourself to do when you're sitting in front of a computer where you can make a cut in 7 seconds. Does this make sense?
Well, you're breaking it down to its fundamentals.
No. You are thinking deeply about the small thing that you're doing.
You're cutting a shot, like a film negative sequence.
Yes.
And you're cutting the physical film.
Cutting the physical film.
And you're rebonding it.
You're cutting out this part, you're taking these two pieces and putting them together. It's the simplest thing. You've done it. You do it in Premiere, right?
Yeah.
You're putting tape over it. But this process, it takes maybe 45 seconds if you're really good or something. I don't remember exactly how long it takes. But the thing is, though, because it takes so long, you don't want to fuck up. Okay, so it's like almost like carpentry where it's measured twice, cut once.
Yeah, like Japanese.
Nobody measures twice and cuts once on a digital. It's a DAW. No, it's not a DAW. That's for audio, right?
Audio, yeah.
It's what do they call these fucking things?
Video editing software. You want the actual?
What did they call video editing software when it first came out? Non-linear editing software. There was a name for it that has fallen out of use, but I don't want to forget what it was.
A VES.
Can you look? NLE. That's it. A non-linear editing system. So the non-linear editing systems, because they're so fast, you are not measuring twice and cutting once. You're just chopping it up and seeing how the slop looks afterwards. Okay. So it's forcing you to think very deeply. Not philosophically, but it's forcing you to actually think about what you're doing. Now, if you go over to car design, if anybody who has their eyes open wonders why do cars look like shit.
Yeah.
And if you ever see, it's kind of hard to get the picture because when you see like a big body Cadillac or something rolling around, they're usually in disrepair. They're usually a hoopty, and it's like, oh, look at that piece of shit. But when you see a nice one, it's like, holy shit, how have we fallen so far as a country that we're not producing these metallic, rolling pieces of art anymore.
Right.
And one of the reasons is all the safety stuff, and BMW and Mercedes are designing specifically for Chinese customers and stuff like that. Those are all a factor. But the biggest factor, there's two big factors, and they both play into this. One of them is the nicotine, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's 100% the nootropics.
It's a nootropic? Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
it is.
One of them is the changeover from drawing and clay modeling to computer-aided design. So if you have a giant clay model in front of you, you're going to try not to fuck that up.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
You're going to measure twice, you're going to cut once, you're going to take probably more time. You're probably going to look at it 10 times more. You're going to look at the clay model 10 times more and 10 times harder, because you know how costly it is to make another giant full-scale clay model. And they still do giant clay models, but they do this after the computer process nowadays. Back in the day, it was after the drawing process. When you're drawing, I mean, I don't even think I'm good enough of an artist to explain why drawing is superior for visualization than computers. But if you want to know this, if you want to know for yourself, if you want to experience this for yourself, there's a program you can download, ZBrush, and you can just look up ZBrush screenshots. And in ZBrush, you can, I don't even know how to use it. You can open this program immediately, click a few buttons, and make some shit that looks like something.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know how to use it, but I know that if I open up ZBrush right now,
I can zombies.
I can make something that looks cool, and like you'll be like, whoa, that's weird and interesting, right?
Like a demonic fish from the sea?
Yes.
A sea creature of sorts from Bela Lugosi?
What if he's like an ancient sea pirate captain, but he carries samurai swords because of his time in Japan?
Maybe there were orcs in another dimension.
What if there's orcs living at the bottom of the ocean and they have gills? That would be badass gore. Okay. So you can open up ZBrush and make something cool. It's super easy for anybody that's even close to fluent in any 3D program to make a shape that looks aggressive. And you know, when people talk about cars, they go, oh, that's aggressive looking.
Yeah.
You've heard that. Nothing to do with beauty, nothing to do with righteous paying tribute to God, nothing to do with something that is geometrically appropriate. It's just aggressive looking. Can you type in aggressive looking car right now, Chris?
So just
so I can get mad and more mad.
To take a quick bullet point, what you're saying is anybody, like my wife, could make a Mitsubishi Lancer on Need for Speed Z that is respectable in 5 seconds, which is bastardizing the integrity of car design.
If any one of us took,
God, that's
I actually like that. That's the Mitsuoka. Mitsuoka. That's probably not designed.
I would beat that car with a baseball bat if I saw it.
Scroll up, Chris.
Don't ever let me be around that car.
Click
we'll
the
get
third image there. Is that the Gumpert Apollo? Which is actually doesn't piss me off that bad, but those are both fucking nasty.
The one on the right.
Let's do the Lamborghini Veneno, the Terzo
the gray one,
the gray one lower right there. So this is this type of shit.
Yeah.
Any one of us, if we took 2 weeks to learn Blender or whatever, we could make something that's 40% of the way towards that. Okay, and then the extra 60% is just putting in the LED strips and the little LED projector lights and making the wheels have the ventilation on them and all that shit. It's just so far removed from what is a human creative process, which is visualizing in your mind versus when you visualize in the tool, which is the 3D design thing. What you're doing is you're letting the tool express itself. You're letting computers and 3D programs express their nature as opposed to you expressing your nature as a designer. Okay.
Yep.
The other thing that happened was the switch over from metal to plastic, and that is a similar thing. The way that materials express themselves in the world, they have, like, metal has a way that it wants to express itself, and it doesn't want to be formed into certain shapes. It's very difficult to form it into certain shapes. Plastic can be formed into anything.
Yeah.
So these angles here that any GM designer would look at this in the 60s and say, that's impossible. You could never make that because it would be impossible to get the tooling and make shapes like this. but you can do it in plastic, and that's not a good thing. It's the limitation that sets humans up to express themselves appropriately. I don't know, but I think there's a similar thing with boxing versus MMA, and I like watching MMA. It's interesting to watch, but you can counter a beautiful striker with grappling, for example. And if you watch Khabib fight, it's very ugly. Yeah. There's nothing. It's not even. I wouldn't even just to call it a martial art at that point. It's like hideous. Can you look up Khabib striking in YouTube? He looks like my stepbrother. He looks like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he looks like he sells tap out shirts at the MMA shows.
yeah. Khabib striking. And that's not to say that it's go back.
I wish Justin Gaethje just won every fight ever. I wish Justin Gaethje was Khabib's record.
Me too. 1 minute of Khabib fighting like a fish out of water. That'll do it. He looks like he just joined the class.
Yeah. He looks like Matt. He looks like his name's Matt and he got dumped. He's trying to turn his life around. Wow.
Very nice.
Yeah. And then there's just people that are like statisticians that are just going to call, that are going to shit all over this reality of us talking about this.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it's ultimately people worship success and performance and money.
Stats.
That's
so fucking annoying.
Stats is how you tap into the mind of
a fucking retard.
Matt.
It goes 0 to 60 in 2.1 seconds.
Yeah, man.
And you're like, who fucking cares?
Yeah, man.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah, dude.
Fucking guys like, yeah, but it goes 2.1 seconds, 0 to 60. Yeah. And you're like, you haven't gotten fucking laid by a woman that loves you in your entire fucking life.
Yeah.
Nice fucking shirt, dickhead.
Yeah, man.
You middle performing fucking, you like not even middle, you get overlooked for middle management. That guy that says that stat.
Yes.
Go fuck yourself.
Can you type in performance casual outfit on Google Images?
Performance casual, yes.
And
you're getting lectured by a guy in an electric blue polo.
Yeah.
With no logo on it that he bought.
Let's see. There's one that's like everybody around us that we know dresses like. I mean, it's essentially, those the shoes that drive me fucking crazy.
I know the one. I'll describe it. It's the one with the white bottoms, right?
Yeah.
It's the hold on. I know who makes them. They're called the Kolhan.
I was about to say Kolhan.
Yeah, they're Kolhan. Yeah, they're Kolhan. Oxford. Kolhan Oxford shoes. With the one on the right with the white bottoms. Yep.
Oh, fucking A. Go back to images, Chris. I see the one that I want to kill. Third one.
Yep.
That right there.
Yeah. That guy's telling you that Khabib's perfect. And the Lamborghini's the best.
Yeah.
And like that shit.
And food that comes in a plastic package is okay.
It's good
to eat.
It's good. Lamborghini Zahura.
Oh my God, man.
I think people obsessed with it's just like find the number one.
Yeah.
Like this is the best.
It's when you're not creative enough to have an identity that's based on anything other than what you think other people's identity is. That's when you're like, oh, best. Stat. What's the best?
Yeah, like I personally, like my favorite fights to watch are like Justin Gaethje.
Mm-hmm.
Like the guy's just leaving it all out there, getting punched in the fucking face.
Mm-hmm.
It's just wonderful to watch this guy fight.
Mm-hmm.
He's like tough as nails.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh my God.
Tony Ferguson.
Yeah, Tony Ferguson. Fucking.
I'll watch Tony Ferguson lose. And be happy.
Say he won.
And say he won.
No, he won.
He won.
Out.
Who gives a fucking shit?
Yeah, put glasses on him, make him look cool.
Yeah.
Like I hate
man.
that. And that's why I think that's why sometimes the MMA stuff. Like what happened to Mighty Mouse?
I don't know.
I don't know what happened to him. Mighty Mouse is fun to watch.
Did he get fired? Did he get kicked out?
Demetrius Johnson.
Let me close off the point that I was making. The reason why boxing is a superior art form to MMA is because MMA you can counter a beautiful, perfect striker with some weird technique. Like if you have a really good calf kick or something, or if you have a good takedown or whatever. It's just there are so many variables. There are so many variables and ways to like suppress the highest. Like if you cut to take the guy that's the most perfected and sophisticated and artful and bring him down to reality. It's like if you could hit people with bricks at MMA.
Yeah.
It would look totally different, right?
That's the next level.
And it would be less of an art form. It would be sensational, and people would want to watch it, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is great violence," but it would not be as high of an art form.
Yeah.
So that's my point. The reason why boxing is an elevated art form. And I don't like boxing. I don't ever want to do it again. But it's just true that it is more of an art form.
It's the equivalent of like not Shelby Cobra, but a little bit of that, like sheet metal forming.
It's sheet metal forming
with the English hammer, whatever they call that thing.
It's more human.
Yeah, it's human.
It's more human.
It has a pulse and skin and nerves.
And you can go down that like best, like number one route.
Yeah.
You can just do that like what people say is like, no, MMA's real because it's the closest to real. It's the best. It's the closest to real street fighting. And it's like, well, what if I put you in there with a battle bot?
Yeah.
Now it's closer to real. Now it's closer to real because there's no rules. Yeah. What if the guy's a gun? Now there's no rules.
What if the guy's in a Chevy S10?
And I'm being hyperbolic. Well, why don't they allow groin kicks? Why don't they allow headbutts? Oh, for safety.
Spitting.
Oh, so you're just making. So now it's an arbitrary set of rules, and what it is, it's the arbitrary set of rules that sells the most Bud Light, because Bud Light doesn't want to be sponsoring something where there's groin kicks, right?
Yeah, or battle bots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was real fighting, if it did have headbutts, if it did have groin kicks, if you could soccer kick people, if you could kick people when their hands were on the ground, that would be actual real fighting. But it wouldn't be nearly as much money because the sponsors would say, "Oh, that's barbaric. It's not getting as much views. It's making our brand look bad."
And it would happen in parking lots on iPhones.
Yeah.
And it would say ding ding, and
it wouldn't be Dude Wipes. It would be like some K2 Kratom company sponsoring.
It would be bail bondsmen.
Yeah.
It would be lawyers.
So anyway, that's King of the Streets. That's some. Listen, if you want to counter my argument, by saying that MMA is better than boxing because it's real fighting, you better be watching this.
Yeah,
because this is actual real fighting.
Yeah, this stuff's fucking
Sorry
crazy.
to tell you.
Yeah. These clips that I see of this shit is like, I mean, look, I'm not a fucking wannabe tough guy or any of that shit, or a wannabe fight commentator, or a wannabe fighter in any aspect of the word. But he's pulling his T-shirt over the guy's head.
Yeah, man.
Like, let's just start there.
I think you can like play with their eyes too in their mouth.
You can play with them, yeah. You can play with their eyes.
You can cover their mouth for a second.
Oh shit! That guy punched some skin off that guy's forehead.
Just you wait.
Good lord! Don't these guys like? I like the ones where like that guy on the left wins.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how?
Yeah, that happens. Yeah.
Like, how the fuck did you come back from that? I would have been like, nah, I would have been in my car by now.
Oh, gotta take that shirt off, buddy. Holy shit!
Yo.
You can see the blonde guy like in the middle get scared. He's like intimidated by the blood.
Yeah.
And it's actually harder to probably land a punch because it slips.
Hmm.
Well, you got to be a little nerved up when you're like knocking the guy's head in and he's fucking standing there in front of you. I would be weirded out by that.
Yeah.
Actually, I got in a fight one time with a kid and I fucking socked him.
Yeah.
The time I beat the two kids up for Jake.
Yeah.
And I punched this kid dead in the fucking face and he was like still in front of me and I was like, oh shit, why is he still here? I fucking clobbered that kid. And I was just like, oh no. Whoa.
Holy shit.
Guy looks like a fucking organ or something. It looks like a surgery. Man. Oof. The guy on the left looks like a fucking gym teacher.
Big guy's getting tired.
Wow.
Well, they're both tired, but uh-oh.
Oof. Who wins this?
Can we fast forward, Chris, to the three-quarters point?
I know who wins, but...
Oh.
Ooh.
No way.
Holy shit!
Is there no like grappling allowed? Is it just striking?
I think they can grapple.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe
I
actually.
think they can do it. Yeah, they do at the end.
Good lord, bro.
Let's get his feet under him properly.
And they only put one like spotlight to like I think
make it dramatic.
Like it's a street. Like
Yeah.
it's like concrete and a street light.
Oh,
wow. I'm honestly in shock. The guy on the left, the gray guy, is doing as well as he is based on the end of this fight. But it's fair. I mean, like, look, he caught him in the beginning, and that's life.
I think it's just energy management. Anybody's dangerous for 30 seconds, but you can't get tired. If you get tired, you're fucked.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Oof. Holy shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fuck with that guy ever.
Yeah.
Oh, he broke something. He broke his jaw or something.
So yeah, Under Armour is not going to be sponsoring this one. But that's what real fighting looks like.
Yeesh.
Got any goodies in the what you sent me today, Nick?
No, it's more just conspiracy stuff. But back to the car stuff, like not back to the car stuff. It's like the what do they call those turn? Is it aerofoil?
Which things are you thinking of?
Like the fin things they put on BMWs and like the lower like 1-inch slim blade
in the front.
Yeah,
that's a splitter. They all have
Splitters.
they all have different names. So if they're on the side of the front, they're called canards.
Yep.
The lip things. If it's a thing that is separate from the body and the lip, it's a splitter. It like splits the airflow.
Yeah.
The front, you'd call it a valance or a bumper or a front spoiler sometimes.
Yeah. What are the things on the rear and the airfoil or the spoiler and the?
You got ducts. You got NACA ducts. Those are always cool looking.
NACA ducts.
I love NACA ducts.
Yeah, it's Ferrari F40.
F40 right there.
Countach.
I wonder what the first car to use NACA ducts was.
If I had to guess, it would be the '60s E-Type Jag. Oh, wow. Lamborghini. Oh, Frank Cousins, Van Wall.
What's the first production car to have it? 73 GTO, first muscle car to have NACA ducts. That's cool.
The '73 Mustang is the ugliest car of all time, and I was thinking of it when we were on the road just now. And one drove by me 2 seconds later. I thought we were in a simulation.
Oh, Aston Martin Project 214. Let's look that up. What is that?
That's cute. That's the good one. That's
Cutie.
That's the good Aston Martin.
Very nice.
After that, actually, Aston Martin's always made a good-looking car. The problem is, with honestly, to be completely fair to Aston Martin, it's one of those things where the cars aren't bad looking.
They look great.
They do look good.
Compared to their contemporaries, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the fucking people who like them.
Is it?
Have you? Like,
I've never met anybody who likes Aston Martin.
It's like
except for my dad, who bought one and took a huge.
Oh, you bought a DB7, DB9.
My dad's the legend of getting butt fucked on cars.
Buying the stuff.
First of all, he finances them at like, I think what he was talking about was he was able to get bought because his like the guy that he was sponsoring at AA worked for some shitty ass credit company.
Yep.
And I think my dad might pay close to like credit card rates.
Yeah, 15%.
Something like that.
12.5%.
I think probably higher than that.
Oh yeah.
And he also pays like full sticker on Aston Martin.
I can get an Aston Martin $212,000 bill. I can buy one for $125,000. Brand new 0-mile car with flat spots on the tires that are sitting. Yellow ones with blue seats. Cool cars. Brand new, brand new. Stickers on them, plastic on the seats. I can buy them for 45. And I'm not saying that to brag. It means because they suck cock.
Yeah.
And the guys who have them are the fly-by-night success guys that are into tennis. and they're like, they don't even know how to sail, but they know that carbon fiber masts are a thing. And I'm like, wow, you know a thing. And they have hot, dumb girlfriends, and they look like women.
Yeah.
And they're like bisexual hockey players. And every guy's like, hey, what's up, Nick? How you been? Nah, I'm still in New York. Yeah.
Holy
like
shit.
those kind of guys.
Yeah,
You know? Yeah. Did you actually just see the new Iron Man movie? It's badass. That guy. Hey, Chris, did you see the new Jason Statham project? It's badass. I went to the U.S. Open this year.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we got there a day early. Yeah, we got pretty trashed. You didn't get trashed. I'll show you trash, motherfucker. You didn't get trashed. You had like 4 vodka sodas, and you got like your fucking white polo got a stain on it from like the shrimp cocktail that you ordered, you fucking putz. Yeah, but that's Aston Martin guy.
Yeah.
And that's just, or a Chinese guy, or like an Asian guy.
I've never met a guy, I don't think I've ever met anybody in real life who's either gone to a tennis match or to an F1 race.
Yes, you have, Denny and Rocco. They go to US F1, and it's so fucking gay. And yeah, Denny's fucking gay for liking that shit. Don't care. Don't have to edit that out. Like going to an F1, you know how much money it is to go to an F1 race?
Is it 1,000?
It's 10,000.
Sorry,
like
what?
the whole Shabbat, the whole thing. I like to speak in Yiddish now.
The hotel and everything.
The whole thing is 10,000. The tickets are 1,500 and shit. Like let's get tickets.
They would spend 10,000 per person going to this.
Yup. 6. They didn't spend fucking 2. Go ahead. Oh, look at right there. From 938.
So that means the bad tickets are $938.
$2,500 tickets. Look at that. Like, sorry, asshole. That's the ticket.
That's the one you would have to, if you're this type of person.
Yeah.
You have to get the start finish line ticket.
Yeah. Come on.
You're not going to get the turns 5 to 8 ticket. Why would you even bother?
Yeah. Well, if I'm already into it for 1,900, what's another 500? And like, honestly, fuck Formula One.
Yeah.
Like, fuck Formula One.
Yeah, man.
Like Max Verstappen. Oh, they're warming up the tires. Formula One is fucking gay.
Those guys should be models in a Bulgari commercial.
There we go. Bulgari. That's there's brands that are like these.
What
guys.
brand? And
Tag Heuer.
You know what I love? They all these brands that like sponsor it, and like they all want to be elevated to the best, and like we want to be like Rolex isn't good enough. We want to be
Hublot,
Audemars.
Yeah.
We want to be higher. They'll never be higher than Bulgari.
Yeah. You're exactly.
Or Bulova, whatever the fuck. Whatever it has Bulgaria in the name. I don't know what it is.
It's the Tory Burch.
I don't know what it's about. I know it's cheap as hell, and that black people wear it, and that's as high as your F1 event will ever be.
And it's fair. Like women do it. Women will cut each other up. Like, you know what? Like real women like cool women like what the fuck is the brand? It's the Olsen Twins soft luxury brand. Can you look that up?
Like I know what you're talking about.
It's called it's like something very, it's just good materials. It's called The Row. Yeah.
There you go.
Like this is like, I guess this is true.
This is it.
Respectable.
Yeah.
But like, to be fair,
this is what you wear if you're smart. If you got it together, you have your finger in the pulse.
Yeah, sophisticated.
You don't want to appear to be gauche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not
this
like,
is it right here.
I
know. I've heard the smart girls talk about this.
Yeah, The Row. It's like materials based, which is like, to be fair to all these people, right? The watchmakers and stuff like that.
Looks like my stepmother, by the way, only shopped at Talbot's.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So like the
J. Jill sweater. That's a J. Jill sweater.
Oh, it looks great on you. You know what would look good is if it was wrapped in a baseball bat that was coming at you at 90 miles.
A knife in your pussy would look so good on you right now.
I gotta piss real quick.
Yeah. But like this so like the guy brands that sponsor F1, buddy, if you're wearing a race inspired polo shirt,
fuck you.
Like, I don't want to put the like, fuck you, dude. Don't talk to me. Go fucking lay down on the fucking train tracks, dude. Yeah. Like, you unfuckable pussy drying. You're making women's pussies into fucking croissants.
Oh, baby.
Like, you like out of shape.
Isn't that fat. Can you imagine? It's if a girl doesn't have swag, it barely matters because none of them have swag, and you don't care, and it's fine, and you just like you take them, you say, hey, dress normally, stop wearing that.
Yeah.
You look like a fruitcake. You look like you have some age regression fantasy or something. You look like you have a problem. You got to take that off, okay?
Yeah.
You look like you just got like the most beautiful girl you've ever seen. In her like late 20s, like she should know better. She looks like she's dressed out of Hot Topic or something.
Yeah.
She's like, baby, come here. Take that shit off. You look like a fucking clown. Wear normal.
Put my t-shirt on.
Wear normal. When guys don't have swag, I know we sound like fat because we're talking about fashion, but it is important.
Yeah.
A guy with that type of swag.
Yeah, you look like you're fucking like an Armenian parts dealer from like, you know what I mean? You look like you're selling Mercedes alternators by the thousands. like balding, fat, no shoulders. Like, you know the one, like hairy arms.
Oh yeah.
Like ill-fitting polo. Like you should be wearing an XL. You're wearing a medium.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Lacoste.
You have sneakers on that look like these are Gucci. Like, yeah, I know they are. Take them off. Like, stop. And like hairy, like sport band wristwatches in orange and yellow and turquoise.
Ugh.
Like what do they call that? What's the Rolex called? With
the NATO strap?
Yeah. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. Like tennis, luxury. You look like you say the word luxury.
It's a dive watch. I met this is kind of funny. I met this kid who was he was dressed like performance casual. And he had a Patek on, and he didn't want to like. First of all, have you ever tried on a Patek?
No.
They're tiny.
Okay.
So first of all, you look like you're wearing a lady's watch.
Right.
If you have any type of size to you, if you're a big guy, you look like you're wearing a fucking lady's watch.
Yeah.
With the exception maybe of the like 300,000, the 5990, the one that's like the the big dookie one that's like watch connoisseurs will look at that and think that it's too ish. Trevin, bleep that out. But nevertheless, it's the only one that's like an appropriate size for a guy that's over 6 feet tall.
Yeah, I mean, people have to take that.
So he's got this tiny little thing on his wrist, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I look at it, and it's an Aquanaut, which is what? What are those, like 70?
Are they 70 grand?
I don't know. They're 125.
Oh my God.
My dude. So with just the date, without any other complications, it's $66.50. That's with a rubber strap.
A rubber.
So the watch that's just the date, it's not even a precious metal, it's steel. Oh. So you're paying $50 for a steel watch with a rubber strap. My brother. And it's not even like a timeless design or anything. It's like a nothing.
It looks like an Omega from the 60s knockoff or something.
It looks like a fuck off. So this kid's wearing one, and he wants to I was like, what is that, an Aquanaut? And he wanted to be like, not to play up his wealth or something. And I asked him, I was like, how much was that? Holy shit, you have an Aquanaut on. And he was like, yeah, it was 10,000. It was just 10,000.
That's even.
I don't even know what to make of that.
That's who said that?
This kid that I met.
Who?
I'll explain. I'll tell you after the show. But it's just this like regular nothing dude in performance casual that I ran into.
Get out of my face with that. That's like me having like, oh, sorry, it's my Lambo. Is that a Lambo? Yeah. Don't. I paid $50 for it.
Yeah.
Like saying I paid $50 for it is worse than saying I paid $180 for it.
Yeah, it was so weird. I didn't even know what to make of it. I figured I'd tell you. I don't know what psychologically. What the fuck was he ashamed of having a?
Then don't buy it if you're fucking.
I was being nice too. I was like, "Holy shit, that's dope! You have an Aquanaut. How much was that?"
That means you must do something.
Maybe I shouldn't have asked him how much it was or something. But I was being like,
fuck that shit.
I was being playful. I wasn't being rude. I was being like, oh, cool. Like I like that. Whatever.
Like no one makes fun of nice purchases. Like I wouldn't bust anybody's balls to their face. Like Like I wouldn't be like publicly being like, "Hey, nice fucking watch, fat." Like but behind your back I would. But like I mean it's style is personal. You know what I mean? Personal style and what you do with your money, but it's also relative to how much income you have. You know what I mean? Like I like this guy like Connor McKnight. Look, can you look this stuff up?
It is how authentically can you express yourself without reaching and without
Connor McKnight clothing.
I'm getting gay here.
This is wicked gay. But this is like it's just simple. It's like this kid's like the off row on fashion. It's just good materials. They're like Izzy Miyake cuts. I've been getting into it because I gotta stop dressing like I fucking sell weed.
Yeah, we do look like slobs.
We do. We look like fucking.
I'll give that to you.
Not me.
Not you.
Chris,
not
though.
Chris. Chris looks
never
fucking
Chris.
Great. No.
Chris. No.
No.
Never
No.
ever.
You're because Chris's style is inspired by like the perforated edges of a ketchup packet.
Chris, is the camera still rolling there?
It sure is.
I think we actually look good, but whatever.
No, I know. I mean,
I will yield to the consensus of
I want to make my wife
females with good taste.
I just want to make my wife have an image in her head when we have our children around, where she's not like, "Hey, this is our nicely dressed children and my considerate outfit," and then here comes my husband dressed like he's been jerking off. Like, I have like shirts that are 10 years old with cum stains all over them, and I'm like, "Hey, I gotta go to the dispensary."
I understand. Yeah.
I after a certain point, but like this guy like. Materials, and it's kind of like that with honestly, it's like that with home design. It really is. It gets back to materials based, where it's like, oh, this is a cool looking marble. This is a cool, like, you can never beat wood. You can never beat, oak, or you can never beat, truly old brass panels or something like that, where you're like, oh, this fixture's like French with porcelain. It's hard to get. Blah, blah,
For
blah.
sure, yeah.
And it's like, it's kind of along the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, but like you were saying, where the material wants to be formed in a certain way, like you were saying.
Yeah.
It's where, like I've said this before on the stream, where cabinet makers have terrible taste because they're like, I can make, like it's if you ever look at a house that a cabinet maker or a woodworker built, it's fucking ugly.
Brother, I might get heat for that. I think because there's the return to Europa, the counterculture that we're with, okay?
Yeah.
And a part of that has to do with woodworking. And woodworking is like it's a blue collar, it's a hands-on. It's the opposite of the globo homo plastic social media bullshit. It's a different thing. These people need to be brought to the back of the shed. Can you go on YouTube and type in, did I already talk about this?
What?
Can you look up raw edge wood table?
Oh, yeah. Live edge.
Live edge, I'm sorry.
Live edge with resin?
Not yet. I was going to get to that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
This?
Yeah.
You have that in your home?
Yep. You'll get clowned on by though. And honestly, this is when I start to like, and I go, good, get them, gay guys. And they're like, oh my God. Oh God. And I'm like, now finally we're getting, this is progression. Because this guy didn't like his job.
You hate this, right?
I absolutely hate this. I did one of these in my tiny house because it was $20.
Yeah.
I found a bunch of slabs
you can find these.
$20.
Yeah.
You have now completed the first hour of a Perfect Guy Live podcast. Full access.
Cheryl was right. We're all gonna die here. Cheryl was right. We're all gonna die. All of us. We're not gonna die. Scotty! Scotty! Is there a way around the bridge? I don't want to die. Is there a way around the bridge? Scotty! 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 I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
You're listening to The Corbett Report. CorbettReport.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Corbett Report podcast. I'm your host, James Corbett of CorbettReport.com, coming to you, as always, from the sunny climes of Western Japan here in October of 2023, with episode 451 of the Corbett Report podcast. I read Yuval Noah Harari's book, so you don't have to. And exactly as you would gather from that title, yes, in the increasingly lengthy and illustrious tradition of previous editions of this podcast, including episode 412, I read The Great Narrative, so you don't have to. Episode 418, I read Bill Gates' new book, so you don't have to. And episode 439 of this podcast, I read Richard Haas's new book, so you don't have to. Yes, today I'm going to present to you a brief review / summarization of Yuval Noah Harari's 2016 tome, Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow. Now, generally I would say something along the lines of, well, if you've been living under a rock for the past several years, perhaps you don't know about Yuval Noah Harari, but I would say specifically in the past few years, even if you were living under that proverbial rock, you would have heard of Yuval Noah Harari. You know, that guy.
Under the Skin is back, and look who's with me. It's Yuval Noah Harari. Hello.
Hey, good to be here again.
Isn't it wonderful that we've found a way of communicating with each other in the form of podcasts?
I think it is.
And is there some love between us now?
I think so.
I feel love. I look at you, I look at your eyes, I think you're a beautiful person.
We need to reinvent democracy for this new era in which humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, this, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. How does the baboon do it? The baboon does not take out a pen and a piece of paper or calculator and start calculating probabilities. No, the entire body of the baboon is the calculator. We are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens. Within a century or two, Earth will be dominated by entities that are more different from us than we are different from Neanderthals or from chimpanzees. Because in the coming generations, we will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds for that. My best guess, which is just a guess, is that food will not be a problem. With that kind of technology, you will be able to produce food to feed everybody. The problem is more boredom and what to do with them and how will they find some sense of meaning in life when they are basically meaningless, worthless. My best guess at present is a combination of drugs and computer games.
Yeah, that Yuval Noah Harari. As I say, I am sure that most of the people in my regular audience have seen or heard something from Harari over the past few years. Even if they didn't know it was him or don't recognize the name, you have seen this court jester of the World Economic Forum crowd. One would say Klaus Schwab's mini-me, or spirit animal there, who gets up at the World Economic Forum in Davos and other places to give his speeches about the end of Homo sapiens and hackable humans and how we're going to placate the useless eaters? Oh, he didn't quite say that. The meaningless people with their worthless lives by drugging them up and giving them computer games. Yay! Okay, Russell Brand endorsed, so he must be a good guy. He's a beautiful person, as Russell says. Well, if you feel like you know exactly what Yuval Noah Harari is pushing, and you get, he's just kind of a transhumanist, and I get what he's pushing, and you're not really interested in what he actually has written, then fine, good enough. See you later. You can turn off this video now. If you are interested, let's start getting into this book, Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow, because it actually doesn't quite go, I think, in the way that you're expecting it to. There are a few twists and turns along the way to end up at a conclusion that is, well, an interesting conclusion. So if you're interested, if you're along for the ride, let's just dig in, shall we? So let's start with the About the Book page, which is a very handy summarization which notes that Yuval Noah Harari, author of the best-selling Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind, envisions a not-too-distant world in which we face a new set of challenges. In Homo Deus, he examines our future with his trademark blend of science, history, philosophy, and every discipline in between. Homo Deus explores the projects, dreams, and nightmares that will shape the 21st century, from overcoming death to creating artificial life. It asks the fundamental questions: where do we go from here, and how will we protect this fragile world from our own destructive powers? This is the next stage of evolution. This is Homo Deus. And here's some bullet points. War is obsolete. You are more likely to commit suicide than to be killed in conflict. Famine is disappearing. You are at more risk of obesity than starvation. Death is just a technical problem. Equality is out, but immortality is in. What does our future hold? Okay, well, an intriguing teaser for the book, essentially. So, okay, well, what does our future hold? Yuval, don't leave us hanging. All right, let's get into it. Chapter 1, which is entitled, as you would expect from this World Economic Forum minion, The New Human Agenda. But, oh, don't worry, he's not talking about, like, that kind of, like, Agenda 2030 agenda. He's talking about, as he explains in the opening paragraph, at the dawn of the third millennium, humanity wakes up, stretching its limbs and rubbing its eyes. Remnants of some awful nightmare are still drifting across its mind. There was something with barbed wire and huge mushroom clouds. Oh well, it was just a bad dream. Going to the bathroom, humanity washes its face, examines its wrinkles in the mirror, makes a cup of coffee, and opens the diary. Let's see what's on the agenda today. Oh, like that kind of agenda. You see, it's just kind of like what you do every day, guys. It's not like planning for the future of humanity. Right? Question mark? Well, it doesn't take long for Yuval to start unfolding that very plan for the future of humanity type agenda. And he starts by setting the table by talking about where humanity is at the dawn of the third millennium. First, there is a big section about how humanity is subverting the age-old struggles of mankind against starvation, against disease, against war. Basically, he says, most people rarely think about it, but in the last few decades, we have managed to rein in famine, plague, and war. And he goes on to say, essentially, this is the Steven Pinker, everything is awesome narrative that is pushed a lot these days. For the first time in history, more people die today from eating too much than from eating too little. More people die from old age than from infectious diseases, and more people commit suicide than are killed by soldiers, terrorists, and criminals combined. You know, awesome. Okay, so what problems are we facing then? Everything seems to be getting better. He elaborates on this in this lengthy opening chapter of the book, in which he goes on an elaborate diversion through all three of these subjects, but specifically on the infectious disease front, which is interesting. Obviously, again, this being written in 2016, so I wonder how this would be rewritten if there was a future edition of this book published. But anyway, he goes on to talk about how pandemics are becoming less and less of a threat to humanity as our medical technology and understanding start to improve. And he specifically cites SARS, one, of course. SARS, for example, initially raised fears of a new Black Death, but eventually ended with the death of less than 1,000 people worldwide. Well, you could imagine he would be pushing a different propaganda line if he was writing that section today. But anyway, that being said, it isn't long before he gets to one of the main agendas of the book, specifically positing that humans are essentially displacing deities by conquering more and more of the domain of the formerly religious and supernatural, including death itself.
How exactly do humans die? Medieval fairy tales depicted death as a figure in a hooded black cloak, his hand gripping a large scythe. A man lives his life, worrying about this and that, running here and there, when suddenly the Grim Reaper appears before him, taps him on the shoulder with a bony finger, and says, "Come." And the man implores, "No, please, wait just a year, a month, a day." But the hooded figure hisses, "No, you must come now." And this is how we die. In reality, however, humans don't die because a figure in a black cloak taps them on the shoulder, or because God decreed it, or because mortality is an essential part of some great cosmic plan. Humans always die due to some technical glitch. The heart stops pumping blood. The main artery is clogged by fatty deposits. Cancerous cells spread in the liver. Germs multiply in the lungs. And what is responsible for all these technical problems? Other technical problems. The heart stops pumping blood because not enough oxygen reaches the heart muscle. Cancerous cells spread because a chance genetic mutation rewrote their instructions. Germs settled in my lungs because somebody sneezed on the subway. Nothing metaphysical about it. It is all technical problems. And every technical problem has a technical solution. We don't need to wait for the second coming in order to overcome death. A couple of geeks in a lab can do it. If traditionally death was the speciality of priests and theologians, now the engineers are taking over.
Death? Pshaw, it's a minor technical glitch. We'll find a way around it eventually, right? Yeah, You can tell where this is going, but in case you can't, yes, he is talking about essentially we're going to move beyond everything that we thought we knew about life and the universe and everything, and especially what we think we know about ourselves. Yes, we're going to upgrade the species. Homo sapiens is about to turn into something else entirely. What? Well, I'm glad you asked. Get ready for the sick title reveal.
Though the details are therefore obscure, we can nevertheless be sure about the general direction of history. In the 21st century, the third big project of humankind will be to acquire for us divine powers of creation and destruction, and upgrade Homo sapiens into Homo Deus. This third project obviously subsumes the first two projects and is fueled by them. We want the ability to re-engineer our bodies and minds in order, above all, to escape old age, death, and misery. But once we have it, who knows what else we might do with such ability. So we may well think of the new human agenda as consisting really of only one project, with many branches: attaining divinity. If this sounds unscientific or downright eccentric, it is because people often misunderstand the meaning of divinity. Divinity isn't a vague metaphysical quality, and it isn't the same as omnipotence. When speaking of upgrading humans into gods, think more in terms of Greek gods or Hindu devas, rather than the omnipotent biblical Sky Father. Our descendants would still have their foibles, kinks, and limitations, just as Zeus and Indra had theirs. But they could love, hate, create, and destroy on a much grander scale than us.
And there it is, yes, Homo Deus, as in we are going to become gods, I tell ya. Well, not God, not like God, but like the Greek gods or what have you, with their own personalities and foibles and quirks that just happen to have supernatural abilities, but not necessarily omnipotence, etc. And he goes on at some length about that. And I'm not talking about God. I'm talking about the gods, you know, like we're going to be like that. So essentially like children with incredible powers or something along those lines. And then he goes on to say, okay, so you got that, everybody? The real human agenda is attaining divinity. Okay, got it. Thank you, Yuval. So, in fact, it's already happening. He goes on to point out this isn't an on-off switch, it's a sliding scale, and we've already taken the first steps along that path. The fondle slab that you have in your pocket is part of those first baby steps towards becoming Homo Deus. So the obvious question, as Yuval puts it in one of the subheads in this chapter, can someone please hit the brakes? Obviously, we're all concerned about where things are going when we start hearing people talking about this technological upgrading of the species. Can someone hit the brakes? You'll never guess what his answer to this question is. Oh, wait, no. You'll totally guess. The answer is no. No one can hit the brakes because, as he says, firstly, nobody knows where the brakes are. And secondly, if we somehow succeed in hitting the brakes, our economy will collapse along with our society. So, you know, don't even... First, you can't do it. No one knows how to do it. And even if you could, you don't want to. So don't even think about it. We're heading towards Homo Deus, and there ain't nothing you're going to do about it. No. But relax, guys. As he goes on to state, this isn't some inevitable transhuman dystopia that he's talking about. He's just letting us know what our choices are so that we can make informed decisions about where we're heading, or something like that. Anyway, after a very lengthy diversion about grass salons and the history thereof, we finally arrive at part 1. Homo sapiens conquers the world. Yes, that entire opening chapter, 100-page lengthy opening chapter, was just a preamble of sorts, I guess, and we finally hit part 1. Homo sapiens conquers the world. What is the difference between humans and all other animals? How did our species conquer the world? And is Homo sapiens a superior life form, or just the local bully? Okay, all right, so in this chapter, he talks about the Anthropocene. That is the technological era in which human life is now the main driver of the environment. He talks about the Garden of Eden. He talks about factory farming and animal cruelty and the recognition of animal sentience by governments in New Zealand and Quebec. Then he gets to what we've all been waiting for, the baboon body calculator explanation. So in a nutshell, he says that humans are algorithms that produce not cups of tea like you might get from a vending machine, but copies of themselves. And the algorithms controlling vending machines work through mechanical gears and electric circuits, but the algorithms controlling humans work through sensations, emotions, and thoughts. And exactly the same kind of algorithms control pigs, baboons, otters, and chickens. Consider, for example, the following survival problem. A baboon spots some bananas hanging on a tree, but also notices a lion lurking nearby. Should the baboon risk his life for those bananas? So essentially he goes on to elaborate how the baboon is using algorithms to do all these complex calculations about the risk-reward of going for the bananas. But these algorithms aren't being... these calculations aren't being experienced like... like with a pen and paper. No, they're being experienced as emotions, as fear, as excitement, as hunger, etc. And then we get to the part we've really been waiting for. Quote, rather, the baboon's entire body is the calculator, end quote. Yuval Noah Harari, 2016. Wonderful. All right. Why do I get the image of Klaus and the gang sitting backstage at Davos chatting about baboon body calculators? Anyway. Let's remove that thought from our mind. Okay, he goes on, agricultural revolution, blah, 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 scientific revolution, yada, yada, yada. You have no soul, etc., etc. No one understands consciousness, and so on and so forth. Clever Hans, the horse who could count, etc., etc. But now we finally get to the meat of this. What really sets humans apart is our ability to create and adhere to imagined orders, i.e. storytelling. Yes, gods are stories. The nation is a story. Corporations are stories. These stories define and rule our world and bring things into effect in the real world itself. And in order to give you an idea of what he's talking about here and to conceptualize this, he posits two fictional stories. One of a young man in 12th century England who heeds the Pope's call to go to the Holy Land to rid it of the infidels. He's going to join the crusade, and his family laud him, and his community celebrates him, and everyone thinks, oh, he's so noble and brave and wonderful, and he's bringing honor to our community. But contrast that with a young man, say, in 21st century England, who suddenly decides, I'm going to the Holy Land to rid it of the infidels. He would immediately, of course, be put in a straitjacket and sent to the nearest institution as a mental patient, because that's not what we do, right? So, what has changed? What has actually changed? Not humans, not the human species itself, not the physical reality of the world. No, the imagined order that we have overlaid on top of nature in the natural world is what has changed. So that what was laudable and wonderful and totally comprehensible in the 12th century is not even thinkable in the 21st century. So, having set that table, we finally arrive at part 2. Homo sapiens gives meaning to the world. What kind of world did humans create? How did humans become convinced that they not only control the world, but also give it meaning? And how did humanism, the worship of humankind, become the most important religion of all? Good questions, Yuval. How are you going to answer them? Well, you get the gist from the opening.
Animals such as wolves and chimpanzees live in a dual reality. On the one hand, they are familiar with objective entities outside them, such as trees, rocks, and rivers. On the other hand, they are aware of subjective experiences within them, such as fear, joy, and desire. Sapiens, in contrast, live in triple-layered reality. In addition to trees, rivers, fears, and desires, the sapiens world also contains stories about money, gods, nations, and corporations. As history unfolded, the impact of gods, nations, and corporations grew at the expense of rivers, fears, and desires. There are still many rivers in the world, and people are still motivated by their fears and wishes, but Jesus Christ, the French Republic, and Apple Inc. have dammed and harnessed the rivers and have learned to shape our deepest anxieties and yearnings. Since new 21st century technologies are likely to make such fictions only more potent, understanding our future requires understanding how stories about Christ, France, and Apple have gained so much power. Humans think they make history, but history actually revolves around the web of stories. The basic abilities of individual humans have not changed much since the Stone Age, but the web of stories has grown from strength to strength, thereby pushing history from the Stone Age to the Silicon Age.
Okay, so the history of humanity is really the history of storytelling, and to sum up about 70,000 years of that history in one go, ancestor spirits and precious seashells and hunter-gatherers gave way to animist deities, and writing and agriculture gave way to priest-kings, and coins and empires gave way to politicians and credit and industry. And it all depends on the evolution not of Homo sapiens, not on the reality of the physical laws of the universe, but on the stories that we Homo sapiens tell each other in order to shape the reality that we find ourselves in. But obviously, we are rubbing up against the limits of the old, tired Enlightenment-era narratives. But that doesn't mean that we're going to discard narrative itself. We're not going to transcend narrative. No. It means we're going to create new ones. As he goes on to say, in the 21st century, we will create more powerful fictions and more totalitarian religions than in any previous era. A bold prediction, but potentially a not incorrect one. And if people want my take on this whole storytelling idea and how important narratives are to the future of humanity, might I humbly suggest How to Save the World in One Easy Step. Link will be in the show notes, along with everything else, of course. So one long detour about the failure of silly, outdated religion to provide us with meaningful narratives. Later, we arrive at a long detour about how the narrative of scientific progress is promising us the ever-expanding pie of economic growth, which, as we all know, is making the weather gods angry. So Yuval posits that our rational leaders are not not being irrational necessarily when they fail to sacrifice all human progress to appease those angry weather gods. No, they may rationally be calculating that they will be able to escape planet Earth, the planet Earth hellhole that is undoubtedly coming, the IPCC tells us so, on a high-tech ark that will save them and their offspring at the expense of the masses. Essentially, well, don't worry, science will figure it out, at least for us rich people. As he goes on to say, even if bad comes to worse and science cannot hold off the deluge, engineers could still build a high-tech Noah's Ark for the upper caste, while leaving billions of others to drown. The belief in this high-tech ark is currently one of the biggest threats to the future of humankind and of the entire ecosystem. Anyway, I just thought it's interesting, the idea of the high-tech ark that will save the elitists and allow the masses to perish. Maybe that's a narrative that has been embedded in our consciousness one way or another. Anyway, crises abound, and science provides us high-tech comfort at the cost of what religion used to provide us, which is meaning. Yes, you swap out religion for science, and suddenly you have no meaning in the universe. And that brings us to Chapter 7, The Storytellers, in which Yuval examines the ideology, the story, the narrative, that against all odds has prevented societal collapse and total chaos in the wake of the death of God identified by Nietzsche. How is it that we haven't descended into total madness now that, as Harari asserts, we all agree there is no God, no divine plan, no spiritual meaning whatsoever to the world? Why, that's easy. Humanism.
The antidote to a meaningless and lawless existence was provided by humanism, a revolutionary new creed that conquered the world during the last few centuries. The humanist religion worships humanity and expects humanity to play the part that God played in Christianity and Islam, and that the laws of nature played in Buddhism and Taoism. Whereas traditionally the great cosmic plan gave meaning to the life of humans, humanism reverses the roles and expects the experiences of humans to give meaning to the great cosmos. According to humanism, humans must draw from within their inner experiences not only the meaning of their own lives, but also the meaning of the entire universe. This is the primary commandment humanism has given us: create meaning for a meaningless world.
And as he goes on to point out, the central religious revolution of modernity was not losing faith in God. Rather, it was gaining faith in humanity. If you say so, Yuval, your lips to God's ears. But of course that does raise the question, what actually is this liberal humanist religion or religion replacement that saved us from Nietzschean nihilism in the wake of the pronouncement of God's death? Well, good question. And if that is your question, don't worry. Yuval can and will and does go on at great length about that in this part of the book, so you can read about it at your leisure. But why read about it when you can just get it in 5 images? That's right. For the benefit of the audio listeners to this audio podcast, I will attempt to describe the Humanism in 5 Images section that adorns this book. The first image is that of someone stuffing a ballot box, and the caption is "Humanist Politics, the Voter Knows Best." There is a picture of the people looking, the 1950s couple, obviously buying a commercial television set. Humanist Economics, the customer is always right. There's someone gazing at Marcel Duchamp's urinal, and Humanist Aesthetics, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Marcel Duchamp's fountain is a special exhibition of modern art at the National Gallery of Scotland. There is a image of 2 lesbians, obviously lesbian wedding, and they're kissing. Humanist Ethics, if it feels good, do it. And then there's a sculpture of Rodin's The Thinker. Humanist Education, think for yourself. All right, so perhaps you think that is where this is going to end, and this is basically it. Okay, so now we're moving on into godhood. Humanity is taking its place. The rightful apotheosis is taking place as Homo sapiens becomes Homo Deus, and the liberal humanist religious philosophy has enshrined humans as the pinnacle and the utmost. And as he goes on to say towards the end of this chapter, as of 2016, when he was writing the book, obviously, there is no serious alternative to the liberal package of individualism, human rights, democracy, etc. Right? This is the pinnacle. But if that's what you think, and if you think that's where he leaves it, you're wrong.
This book began by forecasting that in the 21st century, humans will try to attain immortality, bliss, and divinity. This forecast isn't very original or far-sighted. It simply reflects the traditional ideals of liberal humanism. Since humanism has long sanctified the life, the emotions, and the desires of human beings, it's hardly surprising that a humanist civilization will want to maximize human lifespans, human happiness, and human power. Yet the third and final part of the book will argue that attempting to realize this humanist dream will undermine its very foundations by unleashing new post-humanist technologies. The humanist belief in feelings has enabled us to benefit from the fruits of the modern covenant without paying its price. We don't need any gods to limit our power and give us meaning. The free choices of customers and voters supply us with all the meaning we require. What then will happen once we realize that customers and voters never make free choices, and once we have the technology to calculate, design, or outsmart their feelings? If the whole universe is pegged to the human experience, what will happen once the human experience becomes just another designable product, no different in essence from any other item in the supermarket?
What indeed will happen when human experience is something designable, like a product in a supermarket? Well, of course, that brings us to the doorstep of part 3 of the book. Homo sapiens loses control. Can humans go on running the world and giving it meaning? How do biotechnology and artificial intelligence threaten humanism? Who might inherit humankind? And what new religion might replace humanism? Interesting. So basically, liberal humanism is wrong because, for example, as he writes, liberals value individual liberty so much because they believe that humans have free will. But, as he goes on to say in great length and great detail, attributing free will to humans is not an ethical judgment. It purports to be a factual description of the world. Although this so-called factual description might have made sense back in the days of John Locke, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and Thomas Jefferson, it does not sit well with the latest findings of the life sciences. The contradiction between free will and contemporary science is the elephant in the laboratory, whom many prefer not to see as they peer into their microscopes and fMRI scanners. So you can imagine where this is going. Basically, there is no soul, there is no self, there are only genes and hormones and neurons, and you are either the product of complete strict determinism or some mixture of determinism and randomness, but either way, you have no free will. Stop me if you've heard this before from contemporary philosophers of the World Economic Forum jet set. Anyway, therefore, any ideology like liberal humanism based on the ideal of individual human liberty is doomed. So, before I move on, I should note that there is an interesting little passage in here about Sally Addy, or Addy, a journalist for New Scientist, who wrote about an experience she had where she donned a transcranial helmet and entered a battlefield simulator. And with the helmet off in the battlefield simulator, she was a nervous wreck and could barely function. But when she donned the helmet, which delivered these electromagnetic stimulations to various parts of her brain, she, according to her, entered into some sort of range mode that allowed her to act like some sort of super Rambo, picking off her virtual assailants with complete ease, unimaginable precision, total calm. And the whole thing, at any rate, to the extent that it can be just taken at face value, at any rate, it certainly does sound like something those conspiracy wackadoodles might pick up on as, maybe the CIA and various other alphabet soup agencies, maybe they have this technology, and maybe it's been employed in some of the more famous mass shooting scenarios of recent years. Anyway, those conspiracy theorists will always theorize about such things. Anyway, read New Scientist for all about the latest on the transcranial helmet. Anyway, then we, of course, get into the useless humans part of the book, which you knew was coming. Basically, AI and robots are going to replace everyone and everything, and we are left with precisely 3 options. 1, humans will lose their economic and military usefulness, hence the economic and political system will stop attaching much value to them. 2, the system will continue to find values in humans collectively, but not in unique individuals. Or 3, the system will still find value in some unique individuals, but these will constitute a new elite of upgraded superhumans rather than the mass of the population. All right, so by all means, be skeptical of the AI and robots are coming for your jobs narrative, which we have heard iterations of, essentially, since the Industrial Revolution. But give the devil his due. When Yuval wrote, back in 2016, what will be the fate of all those lawyers once sophisticated search algorithms can locate more precedents in a day than a human can in a lifetime, and once brain scans can reveal lies and deceptions at the press of a button? You may have laughed at that when those words were penned the better part of a decade ago, but as we covered recently on New World Next Week, specifically Swiss Army deploys to protect fat cats at Davos. You might remember in passing I did mention, and it is in the show notes there, China uses artificial intelligence to run courts, supreme justices, cutting judges' typical workload by more than a third and saving billion work hours. Yay. So yes, this is already being employed in the Chinese court system. It is already being trialed in various ways, as I believe was my story of the year in New World Next Year. I want to say 2019? I don't remember which year, but it was the story of the year, one of those years. So there you go. It's already happening. Whether you think it will or not is kind of irrelevant, and perhaps we should return to this discussion in a decade. Do you think any of these technologies are replacing human workers? Anyway, he goes through how AI and robots are going to replace everyone from taxi drivers to lawyers to doctors to you name it. Basically, everyone else, and thus raising the question of what to do with all these superfluous people, his exact words. Superfluous people. And he suggests maybe the useless class, again, his exact words, useless class, can spend their days in 3D worlds. But then what's the point of living a life like that? And if you are looking for an answer to that obviously rhetorical question, well, you're not going to find one because he doesn't have one. I don't know. As you saw in that clip at the beginning of today's episode, maybe drugs and video games? Yay. Okay. All right. Cool. Next, he's telling us about how algorithms will be able to monitor us, and not only our body biochemically, what's happening, but our brain states, to the point that they will know us better than we know ourselves. Again, feel free to be skeptical, but at any rate, he's talking about all the many, many unimaginable wonders that this could bring. For example, the end of pandemics, and presumably every other problem on the planet, by simply surrendering all of your data about everything you do, everything you think, everything you write, everything, your every breath, the blood running through your veins. Surrender all of the data to Google. And he does say Google quite specifically in this context. So what could possibly go wrong? Anyway, we have already spent way too much time going through all of this twaddle. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages that you can really sink your teeth into if you really want to get into it. But let's just cut to the chase, shall we? So you think that this is going to end up at the doorstep of transhumanism, right? Transhumanism will save us. Just merge with machines. Well, no, not quite. That isn't where he goes with this. Actually, he doesn't propose transhumanism, or as he calls it, techno-humanism, and I'm not sure why he insists on inventing a new name for it. Transhumanism is the word that most people use, but anyway, he uses techno-humanism. You see, techno-humanism argues that we should use technology to upgrade humanity into Homo Deus, right? But quote, techno-humanism may end up downgrading humans. The system may prefer downgraded humans, not because they would possess any superhuman knacks, but because they would lack some really disturbing human qualities that hamper the system and slow it down. As any farmer knows, it's usually the brightest goat in the flock that stirs up the most trouble, which is why the agricultural revolution involved downgrading animals' mental abilities, and he talks a little bit about what that means. Anyway, the second cognitive revolution, dreamed up by techno-humanists, might do the same to us, producing human cogs who communicate and process data far more effectively than ever before, but who can hardly pay attention, dream, or doubt. Sounds kind of almost where we're at with the TikTok generation, doesn't it? For millions of years, we were enhanced chimpanzees. In the future, we may become oversized ants. And even worse than that, even worse than the fact that the transhumanist ideal of upgrading humanity actually might end up downgrading us, there's an internal contradiction with the transhumanist ideal that he points out, at least on the terms that he's framing this in. He says, technohumanism faces an impossible dilemma. It considers the human will to be the most important thing in the universe. Hence, it pushes humankind to develop technologies that can control and redesign the will. After all, it's tempting to gain control over the most important thing in the world. Yet, should we ever achieve such control, technohumanism would not know what to do with it, because the sacred human would then become just another designer product, a hackable animal, if you will. We can never deal with such technologies as long as we believe that the human will and the human experience are the supreme source of authority and meaning. So what to do? What do we do about this? Well, in short, transhumanism isn't going to cut it, and we need something else. As he closes out this chapter, hence, a bolder techno-religion seeks to sever the humanist umbilical cord altogether. It foresees a world that does not revolve around the desires and experiences of any human-like beings. What might replace desires and experiences as the source of all meaning and authority? As of 2016, there is one candidate sitting in history's reception room waiting for the job interview. This candidate is information. The most interesting emerging religion is Dataism, which venerates neither gods nor man. It worships data. Okay, Yuval, however you pronounce your name, we're all ears. Tell us all about this new 21st century religion that is going to sever the humanist umbilical cord and deliver us from this paradox of looking for meaning in these flawed, hackable animals that we call humans.
Chapter 11. The Data Religion. Dataism says that the universe consists of data flows, and the value of any phenomenon or entity is determined by its contribution to data processing. This may strike you as some eccentric fringe notion, but in fact it has already conquered most of the scientific establishment. Dataism was born from the explosive confluence of two scientific tidal waves. In the 150 years since Charles Darwin published On the Origin of Species, the life sciences have come to see organisms as biochemical algorithms. Simultaneously, in the 8 decades since Alan Turing formulated the idea of a Turing machine, computer scientists have learned to engineer increasingly sophisticated electronic algorithms. Dataism puts the two together, pointing out that exactly the same mathematical laws apply to both biochemical and electronic algorithms. Dataism thereby collapses the barrier between animals and machines, and expects electronic algorithms to eventually decipher and outperform biochemical algorithms. For politicians, business people, and ordinary consumers, dataism offers groundbreaking technologies and immense new powers. For scholars and intellectuals, it also promises to provide the scientific holy grail that has eluded us for centuries, a single overarching theory that unifies all the scientific disciplines from literature and musicology to economics and biology. According to dataism, King Lear and the flu virus are just two patterns of data flow that can be analyzed using the same basic concepts and tools. This idea is extremely attractive. It gives all scientists a common language, builds bridges over academic rifts, and easily exports insights across disciplinary borders. Musicologists, political scientists, and cell biologists can finally understand each other. In the process, dataism inverts the traditional pyramid of learning. Hitherto, data was seen as only the first step in a long chain of intellectual activity. Humans were supposed to distill data into information, information into knowledge, and knowledge into wisdom. However, dataists believe that humans can no longer cope with the immense flows of data. Hence, they cannot distill data into information, let alone into knowledge or wisdom. The work of processing data should therefore be entrusted to electronic algorithms, whose capacity far exceeds that of the human brain. In practice, this means that dataists are skeptical about human knowledge and wisdom, and prefer to put their trust in big data and computer algorithms.
Yes, dataism, the religion that apparently posits that it's not some supernatural deity that is the supreme creator and that gives meaning to the universe, and not some humanist ideology that asserts that the human task is to give meaning to the universe, but a religion that asserts that data is actually the base material from which everything arises, and that the supreme goal of all life is to act to facilitate and process this data. So what does this mean? What are the implications of this? Well, one implication is that not only are individual organisms seen as data processing systems, but also entire societies, such as beehives, bacteria colonies, forests, and human cities. That's right. So we've gone from humans having a soul and a sacred spirit that puts them in an incredibly important position in the universe to, well, okay, no, there's no soul, and we're just hackable animals. Well, actually, you're not even a unique individual. You are just a cog in a much bigger machine that is just there for data processing, and that's all. Which puts me in mind of Deep Thought from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books. I'm sure some of the readers out there will remember that, where you'll remember the supercomputer that was created to answer the question of life, the universe, and everything, and after 7.5 million years of deep thought, it comes out with the answer. The answer to life, the universe, and everything. The answer is 42. 42? What does that mean? What's the question? And so, Deep Thought cannot give you the question. It was only created to find the answer. The answer is 42, but what's the question is the question it can't answer. So, it has to design some other incredible supercomputer that will be able to answer the question of what is the question of life, the universe, and everything. And that computer is the Earth. That's right, a computer of such infinite and subtle complexity that organic life itself shall form part of its operational matrix. So yeah, anyway, Douglas Adams was there first, Yuval. He already thought of this. Yeah, the idea that the Earth is just a giant supercomputer that is calculating something. Anyway, that's, I guess, kind of the idea here, that essentially the Earth, life, everything in the universe is just processing and facilitating the flow of data. Okay. Anywho, this is the next big thing that everyone's going to be latching onto, according to our human version of Deep Thought, Yuval Noah Harari. And in fact, he summarizes all of history in this way, through this lens. He says, from a dataist perspective, we may interpret the entire human species as a single data processing system, with individual humans serving as its chips. If so, we can also understand the whole of history as a process of improving the efficiency of this system through 4 basic methods. 1. Increasing the number of processors. A city of 100,000 people has more computing power than a village of 1,000. 2. Increasing the variety of processors. Different processors may use different ways to calculate and analyze data. Using several kinds of processors in a single system may therefore increase its dynamism and creativity. A conversation between a peasant, a priest, and a physician, sounds like a setup to a punchline, may produce novel ideas that would never emerge from a conversation between 3 hunter-gatherers. Number 3, increasing the number of connections between processors. There's little point in increasing the more number and variety of processors if they are poorly connected to each other. A trade network linking 10 cities is likely to result in many more economic, technological, and social innovations than 10 isolated cities. And 4, increasing the freedom of movement along existing connections. Connecting processors is hardly useful if data cannot just flow freely. Just building roads between 10 cities won't be very useful if they are plagued by robbers or if some paranoid despot doesn't allow merchants and travelers to move as they wish. Etc., etc. And he develops all these ideas and talks about them at great length. But what are the holy commandments of this new data deity that we're all supposed to bow down to, I guess? As he says in a chapter subhead, record, upload, share, ! That's right. Yes. Yes. God won't be happy unless you post what you had for breakfast on Facebook. Seriously, Harari posits that for the dataists, apparently, impeding the flow and the processing of data would be the cardinal sin. So recording your private thoughts in a diary that isn't meant to be posted online isn't just weird, as it increasingly, I think, probably is seen as by the up-and-coming generation. It's wrong. It's wrong to have your own personal private experiences that you don't share with anyone. It's wrong to just go out and stare at a sunset and not take photographs of it and not talk about it and put it online and what have you. In fact, even dying would be a sin of sorts under this idea, because, well, that robs the universe of more data, the data that you produce just by existing and breathing and having blood flowing through your veins and what have you is data. So you can't rob the universe of that data, so you can't die. Or something, I don't know. It is a ridiculous hodgepodge of a mess, but that's for a specific reason, because in case you didn't notice, dataism isn't real. This is not a religion. There are no dataists. No one ascribes to this phony, baloney, made-up religion that Yuval Noah Harari is crafting out of whole cloth here. It's not a thing. He has made the entire thing up, and he talks about it as if this is a thing, as if this is really some sort of religion that some people are positing or that is coming into view or something. But no one has ever posited this. There are no card-carrying dataists who are worshipping the data godhead. So when he concludes the book, as he inevitably does, by saying, I know that some of this is crazy and anti-human and doesn't make any sense to us. But he's just letting us know where all of this is heading so that we can decide if this is, if we want to go down this road or that road or what choice we want to make. But he's BSing you with that, because I think at base, what is really happening is he is a transhumanist or someone who has been put out there to sell the transhumanist agenda by pointing to this even crazier thing that's coming down the line. Yeah, no, not transhumanism. No, dataism. Now that's crazy and creepy and weird, and we can't even wrap our heads around that. Look at that crazy religion over there that I just made up. You don't want to go down that road, right? So, I guess we got to think of something else. And as I've already said, we cannot put the brakes on the skid towards transhumanism, so I'll just let you come to your own conclusions, guys. And now you have to conclude transhumanism. Right? I mean, this is the game that he's playing. But I think fundamentally this speaks to an even more important point, and maybe this is the takeaway for this if you've tuned out everything else that I've been talking about and haven't read the book and don't care. I think this is the main point. I think this is the real purpose of someone like a Yuval Noah Harari and the role that they play in the overall structure as the World Economic Forum court jester that is brought out to befuddle and entertain the masses with his bizarre patter. What is it really about? And that's something that I have thought about over the past few years, where Harari's name has come up a number of times, and I have, of course, not living under a rock, I have definitely started to notice him more and more. And I remember when I first encountered him, it was in the context of an article where he was warning about big data and how much information it was going to be able to collect on you in the near future, and what a would-be dictator would be able to do with all of that data. And oh my God, we're heading down a bad road here, guys. I don't think we're hackable animals and blah blah blah. And so in that context, it sounds like, well, maybe he's warning about this, and maybe he doesn't want us to go down that road. But no. I think what he's really doing out here is saying, look out, big data is spying on you in ways that you can barely imagine, and we are hackable animals, and people in power will have ultimate power over you very soon. Dataism is the new religion, man. Oh no, yeah, it's totally a thing, and so let's see how we can control this by embracing transhumanism, something along those lines. Anyway, what he is really doing here at base is seeding this entire idea, this entire narrative, because he is right. Narratives do control the world. They are extremely important. So once again, I'll direct you back to How to Save the World in One Easy Step, where I think I put it more articulately than Harari, if I do say so myself. But he's right about that side of it, but he's trying to implant a certain story, and that's his role in all of this, and that's why he's writing this book, and why he does what he does. He is trying to implant this idea in the public consciousness, transhumanism is inevitable, or it's dataism, and everything is just data, and there's no soul, and we're hackable animals. All of these things that are useless eaters, or useless people, superfluous people, useless class, all of these terms that he is seeding into the public consciousness. He's trying to seed certain ideas into the public sphere so that we end up thinking about them and talking about them and end up heading down that road, because that is the road that is being prepared for us. But, okay, let's fight fire with fire. Let's fight dataism with dataism. Let's fight memes with memes. All right, so you all know about how several years ago on the 4chan and whatever fora are out there online, people were trying to make Milhouse a meme, and there arose a counter meme that Milhouse is not a meme, and that in and of itself became a meme, basically saying to all of the people that were trying to meme Milhouse, no, we're not going to go with that. No, Milhouse is not a meme. Well, perhaps our role here is to say, nope, dataism is not a religion, and transhumanism is not inevitable, and you can blow that horn all you want, but we're not listening to that tune. I think that's the real answer. So having said all of this, I guess my real takeaway from this exploration of this book is, don't read Yuval Harari's books, don't listen to his lectures, don't take what he's saying at face value, don't believe anything that is coming out of his mouth. Best not to listen to what's coming out of his mouth, because honestly, I think his entire role, his entire raison d'etre, is simply to get these ideas into your head. But don't let it happen. Anyway, having said that, I will stop the performative contradiction of putting these ideas out there just to say, look, you go, and as I always say, this series is called So You Don't Have to. You don't have to go read it. But I always encourage people, read things, do not take my interpretation or anyone else's interpretation. Go read and decide things for yourself. Read whatever you want, whenever you want. But be careful what you do put in your head, because I think there are certain ideas that are meant simply to get you thinking along certain lines, and I think that is Harari's ultimate role. Having said that, that's going to do it for today's exploration. As always, there's a ton of show notes, links that you can explore if you want to find out more about these various things that I've mentioned today. But that's going to do it for today. I am James Corbett of CorbettReport.com. Looking forward to talking to you again in the very near future.
We're not gonna die. We're all gonna die. We're not gonna die. We're gonna get out of here. We're not gonna die.
I don't want to die. You're not gonna leave me, are you? I don't want to die. We're not gonna die. We're gonna get out of here. I don't want to conqueror. Music maker, him a the conqueror. Music maker party.
tells us.